And what is your beef? Why do you have such a problem with me?
Can we get the real Andy? I would prefer the real Andy.
Oh, let's get the real Max. I'll take off my mask when you take off your mask, brother.
Because who's your new favorite YouTuber, Ian, that wanted to be on the show with us?
The Madman. The Madman.
Mad Movie Man.
Let's bring on Max Movies because he scares the living shit out of me. Hold on.
Oh, wow.
Mad Max says, I think you should apologize. Right? I'm sitting here in a goddamn torn down pool house.
I don't even know
My
who you
pool house
are.
is torn apart. Okay, it's torn apart because I'm remodeling on my $70 webcam. Okay, I'm no better than you.
Movie Madness Entertainment. Welcome.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We have Crazy Joe, too, I think. Uh-oh, Picard. The Picard Church.
Yeah, I'm in full Trek mode.
Are you staying up for the
Because
movie,
we got-
the show?
No, I got to watch it tomorrow night. I got work in the morning. But we got Picard coming tomorrow. We got the Strange New World season today. We got the Section 31 news yesterday. I mean, it's a good time to be a Trek fan, man. It's golden age of Trek.
Well, not so much a good time to be a Mandalorian fan because your friends will stay you up when you stay up late to watch the finale. Brian Brucifer.
I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
I even messaged them and there's like dead silence. How unprofessional to fall asleep when you're supposed to be somewhere. I don't believe,
Yeah, I don't understand that either.
Wait, what? Okay. Sorry I'm late. The main topic, I had two topics I was thinking about tonight. And if you're just getting here, remember to smash the like button, help out the channel. One was about the Mandalorian, and the other one was about the Scoop game, Scoop Wars. We have reports from Scoopers that it was changed again. And there's a little bit of fun to be had about it as well. Let me see what the chat is saying. Samir, please don't tell me you've fallen for a cold reading. I don't know what that means. About the tweets from the Scooper? I don't know. Keely Chow, hello everybody. Strange Marvel Theories question marks. Max is sleeping. Wake up, Max. He's awake. Are you saying that he's woke? Yes. Are we late? Oh, wait. Max is late again. Hello. Someone mentioned when seeing the film, some Scooper was wrong on some details.
What film?
Darcipio, I don't know what you're talking about. You're the only one. I don't know. I do want everyone to, we're doing a good show now. We'll chill out on the blocking people for sure. I don't know what the hell's going on. All right. Yes. Okay. So how are you doing, Brucifer? I think you slept pretty well last night.
Yeah, I did actually.
But everyone's gonna be there for Picard, Brian. Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Who here saw the Mandalorian finale? Let's just go to spoilers.
Yeah, I saw it.
It was great.
I thought it was great.
Not a lot of surprises or cameos, though.
It was a perfectly wrapped up season and with a nice little bow, tied up all the loose ends.
Too nice.
And it confirmed my my theory because I said I think next season they'll change the title to The Mandalorian. And you had that line. I don't think this line's a spoiler. If anyone considers this a spoiler, maybe you had that line where she said, we're stronger together. And it's like DeLoreans. Well, then add an S to that title.
Yeah. Well, I have a theory on. Hey, Voltaire, how's it going? Thank you, true friend. Brucifer decided to show up this time.
Oh, poor sleepy boy.
Oh,
Well, we might as.
what are you talking about?
What
You were sleeping right next to me.
Oh wow,
You bastard.
Oh, well, yeah, it's 3 a.m. I get it.
I don't know. I was like, Brucifer and Brian both said they were going to be in. They're both gone. What is going on? I don't know.
Joe had a good tweet today about how they show these episodes at 3 a.m. for people and then spoilers by 4 a.m. That was you, right, Joe?
Yeah. It drives me crazy because, like, I'm looking on Twitter today, and I mean, there's people that just like post screenshots on Twitter. Like a few weeks ago, it's like 6 a.m, and I'm like, dude, it hasn't even been up like 5 hours. But then you got the guys like Slash Film, who their reporters will like write a headline, and they'll be like, oh my God, they spoiled the end of Wednesday for me. They're like, because all episodes dropped at once, right? You know, they dropped at once. And the next day, they're like, we interviewed so-and-so on the reveal of Wednesday. It's like, so you thought that I had 13 hours to sit and watch this whole thing?
Yeah.
Is Joe cutting out, or is that my end?
Yeah. He is.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Not over here. I'm not.
You know what I love is everyone that said that certain characters were gonna die.
I said it.
You know, Scoopers, Max's friends came onto the channel.
Me and Walter.
They all take the L.
I'll take the L. I don't care.
I'll take the L. I'll take it.
I didn't say I was 100%. I said I think they're going to do it. And I said it seems like it, but we might as well. I guess we might as well do that topic first then. What I think is happening now. My predictions, and this is spoilers. Oh, you licked my hand, Kelly. Okay, so what I think is happening is, all right, hold on. You're back, Crazy Joe. You look clearer.
Yeah, well, I closed my browser and opened a new browser since it was cutting.
Okay.
Do I sound better?
Yeah. So what I think is happening with the Mandalorian, it was like too clean of an ending, and then the very ending. This is spoilers. Keep in mind. Mando meets up with the Rangers and the New Republic guys. And it basically seems like if Mandalorian continues, he might have taken Gina's place.
Oh, good. I didn't do that math. Wow, interesting.
I mean, because basically he's going to be running with Din Grogu. He's going to be running missions for the New Republic.
Yeah.
So maybe they will bring that show back. And then Bo-Katan, instead of having it called The Mandalorian Season 4 Bo-Katan, they'll just do a Bo-Katan show. Just like that IGN clip where they're interviewing Rick Famuyiwa and Katie Sackhoff, where they're like, are you going to do your own show? And they're like, they don't want to say anything. They're like,
she was giggling like crazy. Yeah.
So I think it kind of splintered off. And I do think that they're going to bring back the Rangers of the New Republic based on that guy's 2 appearances in the season. Once with he's actually had like 3 appearances in the season. But one of them was with what's the guy from Rebels? The creature's name? Zeb. Once was in the middle of the season, and then also at the very end, saying, "Yeah, you could work for us." And that would be a way to carry on the Mandalorian with Din, but he doesn't have to be in every episode either. So he's not killed off, but very well. Maybe, and I know Voltaire has speculated that he hasn't heard that there's a season 4 of Mandalorian.
There's been no announcement. Yeah.
No, there's no announcement, but I thought
they did announce it. They said that they've already.
They said it was written, but yeah, it was written. But they didn't formally announce it though. But yeah.
Yeah. DeGracia says Rangers never left the table. I don't know, the way it ended. It seems like the Rangers could be coming back, even though that's put on ice after Cara Dune, and I kind of think that Mandalorian is going to replace Cara Dune in that show. You know, it's her role.
Yeah, I guess he's going to go week to week missions, just like, you know, back to that instead of this big overarching story of taking Mandalore over.
Yeah,
with Grogu.
I don't know if that's what do you think's going to happen, Voltaire, then Brucifer, Crazy Joe? What do you think?
Well, I think the ending left it open for them to do another season or to just end it there. You know, it all depends on Pedro if he wants to do it.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
There was some finality to the way that was, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
they're sitting in front of, it looked like an old trailer or something in the South or something, you know.
Oh,
and
geez.
he's sitting on his front porch, and Grogu's playing in the yard. They're not training, they're not doing anything. So
Drinking moonshine.
Interesting. But Max, this I'm trying to. Your theory is very plausible. It would be a way for them to bring back Rangers of the New Republic, and still have a show called Mandalorians featuring Bo-Katan and the rest of the Mandalorians out there.
Yeah, I don't know. We have a little bit of time. It's possible I don't know where they would go with season 4 unless they bring. If they just do Mandalorian season 4, unless they bring back Moff Gideon again.
So there's a theory out there.
Yeah.
That Moff Gideon in the previous seasons had a mustache, and the one that got killed didn't have a mustache, and none of the clones had mustaches when they showed the close-up. So a clone was killed last night. This is one of the theories. I mean, there's going to be a million of these going forward.
Yeah.
It would just seem unwise for them to get rid of Gustavo Fring or whatever, Giancarlo. He's such a big star. I mean, they only used him for 2 episodes this season, so it's not like they used him a lot. So,
yeah.
I saw a lot of people online complaining that there was no post-credit scene to tie to the next project.
I didn't like that either.
Max asked for that. Max said,
Really?
"Hey, is there a post-credit scene?" When we were watching last night. Yeah, you're insulting Max right here on his own platform.
That's okay. Everyone does.
I like to do it behind the scenes, though.
That's better. He's more stealthy. Well, you know, it's because it was a good. Don't get me wrong. The episode was good. It was well directed. It was neatly tied up, the season and all that. But it wasn't like explosive or anything. Like there's really not that many spoilers we could reveal to people. Like, go watch the episode. It wraps up in a neat bow. There's nothing fantastical happening in it as far as a season finale goes.
Yeah. I'm gonna probably watch it again tonight. Although I'm watching Picard. I don't know how that's gonna work. Not a lot of surprises. I do think Moff Gideon may have been a clone because he was also walking like a droid too. It was weird. I don't know what the hell was going on there.
He was making sounds like RoboCop when he punched and stuff.
Right. None of the Mandalorians make that sound with their armor on. That was weird.
It was weird that he left the control center to go look for Den, and then when Mando gets there, he's there. I'm like, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe he escaped.
Yeah. What's your thoughts, Crazy Joe? Did you like the finale? Any questions? Or what do you think about Moff?
No.
Is that the real Moff?
I don't know. I don't think it really matters. I mean, there's go with the story. They're clearly setting up the First Order, so I don't even know that you need to keep Moff Gideon. There's other characters like they, for example, Hux's father. So I don't know. There's so many story potentials still open. And this season finale just left them in such a place where season 4 has so many directions it could go. Like you've got him running missions for the New Republic now, or he can, we can go back and work with Bo-Katan. I mean, there's just options aplenty for season 4.
Okay. Well, I'll be happy if they make it, even if they don't make it and they just have Din Djarin and the Knights of the New Republic. That would be cool too. He's kind of completed his arc with Grogu. Well, he saved Mandalorians. Mandalorian's now established again, and now he has a son. So it's kind of like he could kind of do his own thing again. You know. My biggest disappointment of the episode was the Darksaber arc. Was like, really? Because there were some really cool scenes with the Darksaber, and someone in the chat on the watch party guessed that was going to be destroyed, and I really disliked that it was destroyed. You know,
like it was nothing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Babu Frick will repair it.
Well, I don't know. He why did even Moff Gideon crush it? Like, I don't understand. He wanted it and then he crushed it. It was weird. It's like he dismissed it as like a toy that's just superficial. But before that, he wanted it. That was like, what? You just said you wanted to give it to me. Okay. Maybe did he want it just to crush it? I don't know.
Well, maybe if that feeds into the idea that it was a clone. He didn't care about it.
I think the clone that opened his eyes in that room is alive too. The one with force sensitivity, you know.
Yeah.
Has it been destroyed before? I don't know. I'm
not aware of that.
I don't know either. He found something better. Okay. So that's all I have to say about the Mandalorian. Really, I'm kind of stretching just to say more.
Not that much to say. I tell you.
It's like it was good. It was fun.
It was a solid 6.5, 7 episode. There you go.
Yeah, I would give it an 8 out of 10. But there's not a lot left on like the other seasons. They ended where there was stories that needed to be completed, but this one's kind of like, okay, you could just leave it off here if you want, or you could continue. It's kind of done.
Yeah, and you know, they're in a tough spot coming off of a Luke Skywalker finale. You know,
Yeah.
But geez, it's just like nothing happened. It was really just like, okay.
Anakin Luke saber was thought lost forever after Empire. We know how that turned out.
Yeah, that's fair.
Maybe get rid of the Darksaber meant getting rid of the old. Well, that's what's really inconsistent with me too, Sean, is like at the beginning of the show, they're very much like very cult like the Din Grogu in the Armorers sect of the Mandalorians. This is the way. And then this season, they're like, okay. They're like so easygoing this season. It's like really off-putting based on the context of the original. You know what I mean? Voltaire and Brucifer. The first season, they're just like, no, you got to do this, and we can't even accept you around unless you're baptized. And like, she walks it both ways now.
Yeah.
It's
There's
just
nothing wrong with walking in both paths.
Oh boy, very fluid.
No, I'm not
a lot of fluids.
I'm not. Oh wow, I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying it's inconsistent with the way the character was introduced.
Well, they realized that they are stronger together, and they had to unite to retake Mandalore.
I could see that argument that to retake Mandalore, they had to embrace other ideas as well and walk together. Yeah. But I don't know if we were led there to think to get this change from the armorer and the leadership of that very cult-like. They're the most cult-like Mandalorians. Are like, no, you can't do this, you can't do that, and then now they're accepting of everyone. Like, okay, I guess people can change, even cults.
This is the way.
Paramount premiering the Picard season 3 finale in theaters tonight, but not streaming until its regular overtime is effing stupid. Yeah.
I just wish they were screening it in my city.
I thought the crystals are where it counts with lightsabers. The black saber can be rebuilt. Okay. All right. I don't know. That's all right. That's finally what wrapping up the Mandalorian talk.
Yeah.
We could revisit it later if anyone has questions. I mean, if anyone has some speculation, put in the comments section. Now we could talk about this this Flash ending. Flash, I don't know, Crazy Joe, if you want to hear this, because this might be spoilers.
Well, it's not a spoiler because it's bullshit.
It's been debunked.
If it came from a scooper, we know it's crap, so I don't need to worry about being spoiled.
Okay.
Because it's not real.
Bad.
Well,
it's like Bigfoot.
Or the moon landing, right?
Yeah, well.
I'm just kidding.
Well, being Scoop Wars that the ending was changed again, I think that's very plausible, though, Crazy Joe. What's interesting, though, I was kind of call out Casey Walsh slightly, because this is where it's funny, where people very overly critical of certain scoopers, but then like other scoopers, where I just put them all in the same category. So this is his tweet from like a while ago about the Flash movie being locked, and now he's in the news for saying they changed something. So that's what's so funny. He was so adamant that the other scooper was full of it, and Crazy Joe just might say they all are. So here's the receipt here. Yeah.
They haven't seen the movie. Nobody's seen the movie.
Well,
anyone who worked on the movie is not going to be leaking stuff. That would put their job at jeopardy.
I think you're naive on that part, Crazy Joe. I mean,
what do you have to worked on the Flash? What's in it for me to leak that to a scooper? It puts my job at jeopardy. Are they paying me? Like, I mean, what am I getting out of it?
Potentially potentially scoopers could pay someone on the visual effects side or something like that. There's lots of scenarios. I'm not suggesting that happens, but people talk. Yeah, people talk. It's not that hard. It's not that hard.
Wait, I thought he was banned from Twitter like 2 weeks ago.
Well, he's back. But this is where he's very aggressive towards Syl. For those of you who don't know what a picture lock means, it means there are no massive reshoots or rewrites happening. But I think he kind of debunked himself here because he's in the news now saying that they have changed something again. So it's lots of things. What I want to say is lots of things can happen with these superhero projects, and they're changed up until the release, unfortunately. And that means some cool things can be taken out as well. But he was extremely aggressive towards Syl, saying, no, nothing's being added. It's locked. Blah, blah, blah. But now, fast forward to like just a few days ago, and this is now he sounds like Syl a year ago, which is very funny. I'm not saying either one is right. I'm just saying it's pretty funny here. He's on Reddit, and people think he's full of shit on Reddit as well. Okay, so
I have to point this out.
Yeah.
Little movie perf said he's sitting on a big one.
People talk. I heard stuff too. I'm sitting on a big one.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Big what? What are you sitting on? Okay.
Did you purposely phrase it that way, Perp? I mean, come on, that's really provocative.
Yeah. Well, get in here, Perp. Let's talk about the big one. All right. So
sounds like a New York City weekend.
Oh wow. So this is the other thing that's rival scoopers argue about is test screenings. oh, they didn't happen. They don't. They get really defensive unless they heard about the test screenings, and then they're like, oh yeah, I heard there was a test screening when they get their sources. It's very funny. Have you ever seen rival scoopers who do this about test screenings? Well, I haven't heard that. It didn't happen. And they're like, well, this test screening, but this is what he's claiming now. When a while ago in 2021 or 2022, he said it was locked. Claims there's another test screening. And this is really, really also where his bias comes through too, because he's saying not that things were removed. He's saying Zack Snyder's Justice League references would be removed. That's complete bullshit based on the movie. Based on the movie that Ben Affleck is in it. Ezra Miller is in it. So if you had to erase all references, they wouldn't be in it as well. In my opinion, this is where he shines through. All right, but here you go. Film is complete. Ending is changed, but it's more vague. The cameo isn't what you think it is either. Speed Force has cameos galore, including a CW connection and a Dream cameo. It'll be what everyone talks about. Zack Snyder's Justice League reference appear to be removed. And lots of people do not have a lot of faith in him as well. And I think we will get to just a clip of Syl where he's talking about now. Crazy Joe isn't concerned about watching this because he thinks he's full of shit. So whatever.
There's one thing that I could see them changing up to the last minute in this movie because it just makes sense. We all know there's not a chance in hell Ezra Miller's ever coming back to play the Flash again because of his crime spree. Yeah, exactly. Nobody would ever hire him again. So I believe that this movie is going to end with them coming back from Flashpoint, having changed time, whatever. And when he arrives back in the present, he's going to be now played by a different actor. So I could see them up to the last minute looking for maybe the Ezra replacement that they're going to plug in there. That just makes sense to me.
I heard that.
Or he runs off to another dimension, so they don't have to show a replacement. Then when the replacement comes up, so yeah, he's gone. So this is the new guy now. But I agree with Joe. I can't imagine them sticking with Ezra.
There's not a chance.
It just feels it's funny because these scoopers go back and forth. I'm right, you're wrong. I'm right, you're wrong. And then at the end of the day, these comic book movies are changed more than any movies I know of, like to the up and right until release. It's very funny. And a lot of, this is a lot of the reason too that a lot of these cameos at the end of Superman movies don't mean as much as they used to. Remember when they used to mean something and now they're just like, okay, what's that going to mean? And not in some, half the time they don't pay off in future movies. They're just there, So let's get to this. This is what Syl has heard. What? Yeah, no.
What's this about a Chris Reeve? In the chat, they're talking about a Chris Reeve cameo. What does that mean?
Well, EVS confirmed that too. EVS confirmed there's going to be potentially, yeah, or clip of him from the past.
I thought they showed that part where the Flash is running through the Speed Force, and they're showing different clips of WB properties.
Well, they did that on the TV. Flash went into the Speed Force or traveled through the Flash. You would see clips of Christopher Reeve flying or Michael Keaton, like just kind of, or the old '90s kind of going on in the sides around them.
Okay. I can't see the Watcher. Because World Champ is saying the Watcher's right. Where's the Watcher's comment?
Watcher says,
here.
Cage. All right, I was trying to help you and I took it down.
Cage cameo. Okay. Even Degrassi is saying the I think that there's a sequence where he's running through the Speed Force and you're seeing cameos that way. And if you have that Speed Force special effects that kind of look like in Star Wars, like
No, I
light
thought,
speed. You could put stuff all on the sides of that really easy. You know,
They did that in Everything Everywhere All at Once too, when she was in like the Twin Peaks Red Room at one point and all that kind of thing. So yeah, they could do that, I guess.
mm-hmm. Purpose here.
Hey.
Oh boy.
uh-oh.
Hey, Perp, how's it going?
Hello.
So, how are you still sitting on a big one, or are you relieved? I don't know.
I am fully relieved, and it
Okay.
feels good.
Oh God. Okay. What
By
happens
the way,
when
did I
rappers?
mention I couldn't finish? I mentioned last stream that I saw 65, and I couldn't finish my quick review.
Yeah,
Oh.
please. Well, when you get it, I would like to hear that because I had high hopes for that movie, but
It was good. It was fun. It wasn't amazing. No. Here's what we're hearing, and if you're just getting here, remember to smash the like button. We got a 30 like goal. Actually, let's make it 40 like goal on MME live streams. It would really help us out. But here's what Syl is saying that he's heard from his sources about the changing of the Flash, the ending. What's going to be set up at the end. Dead silence.
It's being said,
Oh.
and this part's already out there, that not only did they take out the Cavill and Gal, they took out the Michael Keaton, the Sasha Kaya, the whole meeting after, Barry goes to the courthouse, then he's supposed to run into Bruce Wayne and then see Supergirl. Now that's taken out. That was a report that's out there. And instead of seeing Keaton and Sasha Kaya, Barry would see a mystery part. It's a new cameo that they're putting in the film in the end to show that Barry can go anywhere, any timeline.
Jennifer Holland?
Another cameo.
Well, if they put Jennifer Holland in again, that's gonna make although I think she had the best scene of the whole Shazam 2. Crazy Joe, that was my favorite scene.
let's get what's his name?
It
Dean
was a
Cain.
good scene. It wasn't my favorite though.
Okay.
My favorite character is Michael Gray. I thought Michael Gray was.
All right. Well, let's get back to it here.
Instead of what was originally filmed, even before the Cavill stuff. So it sounds like he's still going to go to the courthouse and see his father exonerated.
Oh, that is
He's
a
gonna meet
spoiler.
with someone else. So I did run this by, the source of that report that's been out there, and I was like, is this true? Are they really taking all this out? It appears James Gunn ordered that to be taken out. But then something else was added in. Now, as I was checking with people, they confirmed as well that it's going to be someone who was from the DC past, actually. So this eliminates anyone new in this new DCU. So just according to what's being said,
They're adding another.
This is from someone who's been in DC before.
Well, he said that they were going to have George Clooney Batman, which would be cool,
Are they just going to bring back every iteration? They have Dean Cain as Superman in there or something?
I don't know. Maybe in that sequence, it doesn't feel very. It doesn't feel like they thought of ahead of time. It just feels like they're just throwing shit in there. Honestly, right now, I'm still excited for the movie. I was really excited for the first trailer, but now I'm like my excitement is tempered, and I'm not sure if this is going to do well. I'm not. But I'm still going to see it in theaters.
Yeah, but didn't we know that they changed the ending months ago?
Well, they keep tinkering with it. It seems like World Champ. That is from Casey Walsh, and he has too much bias. If they removed references from Zack Snyder's Justice League, you wouldn't have Ezra Miller. I mean, this is where it's like a weird argument. Like, what does that mean?
What does that mean? Oh, okay,
because
yeah.
Ezra's still in it. Batfleck's still in it. That's part of the.
But are they referring to scenes from the Zack Snyder cut specific?
Both versions are Zack Snyder. Like even Justice League, even though it's a butcher cut, it's still Zack Snyder. Yeah.
But the superior Whedon cut as
Base.
that is
Hot
I love
take.
this guy.
canonical
No,
version.
that's just a hot take.
That is the canonical version. DC. So, like, how would you put a reference to a version that's non?
They both end in the same place, Crazy Joe. They both have
Oh,
the
I
Justice
agree.
League forming. Superman comes back and they beat a big bad. I don't know why we all have.
Right.
Let's
But
we
he's saying
overcomplicate this
specific-
argument. Yeah.
He's saying specifically Zack Snyder's Justice League, which would indicate
Yeah,
first of all,
because he's got a screw,
none of
that's
us.
because he's got a screw loose. He's got a screw loose.
Yeah,
He's
but
so
none of
warped,
us
he's-
know.
Yeah.
None of us
we
know
don't
what's in
know
this.
it.
We took out because we don't know what's in it to begin with. No, we didn't see it.
Yeah,
it's getting
but-
weird.
but
It's getting weird when some like the fans are saying this was taken out of the movie that hasn't come out yet. Like,
Yeah, well, World Champ says they were scenes that made references to Barry going back in time in the movie to see that erased what their plans were for the future, but that doesn't erase the Snyderverse. Like that's weird argument. That's like someone that's warped trying to frame it in an have it for a narrative.
Not for nothing. Either way, the Snyderverse is not coming back. So
No,
what
I know that.
What does it matter if they remove an ending that had led to a continuation?
That's that. You're right. You're right, Brucifer. Basically it seems like it takes out the ending that hints at a future. You know.
So
that,
I'm
that
sorry.
I agree with. Yeah.
So a reference to Flash going back in time to save things is a Zack Snyder reference somehow. I mean, he does that in the comics and everything. I mean, how is that
right? This is why the two wars go back and forth with each other. It's ridiculous. Like,
well, Snyder claims that now. That's Snyder's. And
What?
keep in mind, even in Snyder's world, Flash was already like sort of existing.
okay,
right?
so it's because the scene where Barry went back in time to save everyone. Zack Snyder's Justice League was the Flash in reference to the scene with Iris. Now they removed from the Flash movie. Okay, all right.
But Affleck's still.
Oh, I see. Okay, if they're going to specifically reference that battle and everything like that, I guess that makes more sense. Thanks for clarifying, World Champ. That actually, I kind of get what they're saying now.
Okay.
That's not even a big deal, though, to not mention that, truthfully.
Exactly.
Do you remember the time you went back in time to save us? That was cool.
Oh yeah, that turns into the Chris Farley show then from Saturday Night Live.
There
You
you go.
remember when you did? That was awesome.
That
Quite a
was
reference.
Ben Affleck, and Ben Affleck is like, that was the best.
Not for
Batman
nothing.
ever.
All this is people clinging to any little thing to hate this movie even more.
Well, no, I don't think there's any hate going on here. It's
You don't
just
think so?
no. I just think things keep changing all the time. Like
There's
It's
a
another-
lot of
it's-
hype around this movie.
I'm
It's
just
another reason to hate James Gunn. That's all.
No. I'm just disappointed.
Not you.
Yeah, no. I feel like a lot are just disappointed that these last appearances of some of these actors and actresses are being removed. That's all. Let's hear what else he says here.
They wouldn't get disappointed. They just moved on.
So this will
From the very
predate
beginning.
whatever the new stuff that James Gunn is doing, showing that again that hey, this Flash, if the multiverse is open, we can go to the past, we can go to any iteration of DC. James Gunn's Flash. Now the Grant Gustin, according to people reporting on that, you're going to see Grant Gustin somewhere in the middle of the film, so that's not the mystery cameo at the end.
Oh, I heard he wasn't in it. Did you hear that, Crazy Joe?
Yeah, but I also heard Andrew Garfield wasn't in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Boom. That's a good point, actually.
Well, I think what they're saying though is he's going to appear in that sequence where there's all the cameos, but not at the end. He's not going to take over for Ezra.
I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
Okay.
Just-
Look,
everything's on the table.
As a side topic, the CW Flash versus Ezra Miller, what's your preference?
Well, I think Grant Gustin is much like a popular 90s band. He's better than Ezra.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, Degrassi, I agree. The entire premise of the movie is a Zack Snyder reference, right? The whole movie is they go back and fight Zod again. It's within the world.
Yeah.
I don't think
Better
Grant
with Supergirl.
I don't think Grant Gustin is a good enough actor to carry a movie. A TV show, maybe.
I think.
What about
yeah,
an ensemble like Justice League? You don't?
I think
he
would be. I think he would be great in the role. I just think if they do that, it's going to feel stale because you've had 7 seasons of this Flash. It's not going to feel new and exciting.
If they wanted him as Flash, he would have got the Flash role.
Yeah, I was surprised he didn't, to be honest with you. And I never liked Ezra Miller from the first time I saw him on screen as a Flash, to be honest.
All right, well let's see what else he has to say here. I don't have any sources.
Supposedly, you're going to see Grant Gustin. I need to double check on my end on that too, but I'm hearing from several people saying expect Grant Gustin somewhere in the middle of the film, paying off that CW part.
Okay.
So, if it's not someone in this new DCU, and this cameo is a vehicle to show that, it could reach back to any time in DC, and it's kind of ambiguous.
Can we one speed this? Jesus.
I did.
Oh my God.
I was told the ending is still where he goes to the courthouse. He's still looking for a Bruce Wayne.
Still looking for Bruce Wayne.
And apparently he's going to find a Bruce Wayne. According to what I'm hearing, to, again, show the DC world is open, I'm hearing Ezra Miller Flash is going to run into this Bruce Wayne.
Based.
That's going to be cool. What do you think of that, Crazy Joe?
It's not going to happen. There's not a chance.
We're going to see it together, I think, right? Too many games. I'm going to look right at you with my mask. I'm like, Crazy Joe.
I want to go. I'm just kidding.
You can. You want to go too many games?
Try to stream it.
Come to Philly. Yeah, no, I mean, it doesn't
That's
make
like 5 hours away.
What do we know? What do we know about this Flash movie? This Flash movie is the launch pad to James Gunn's new universe. He's not bringing back Clooney.
At least for a cameo, yeah.
Yeah, but how does that fit in? We changed the timeline. We're in a new timeline.
I think that's perfect, James Gunn. Perfect James Gunn is taking something that you're not expecting to like. Everyone calls him the worst Batman.
Yeah, but James Gunn already said when this rumor came out that Clooney was coming back, he's like, no, he's not. And James Gunn, if anything, he's been very, very upfront with what he's doing. He keeps shooting everyone down, going,
I don't know. I think this is. I would put this at 75%. Just my speculation. This is going to happen. George Clooney.
You would put it at 75%.
Yeah, it makes so much sense with James Gunn too. Like he takes something that you're not expecting and makes it cool, and that's giving James Gunn props. He does things you're not.
What if the cameo is Weasel?
No.
Would you get mad? Will you?
No, that would be James Gunn.
Would you?
Exactly, Degrassi. Nobody's seen it. Exactly.
Would you critique James Gunn if he decided to tweet about that? No, this is not true. Tomorrow, would you get?
No, because he's trying to keep the secret. You know how they do, but I think this. I would be shocked if this isn't in it. It makes so much sense.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. So they need this movie to.
I guess it's cute.
Here's how I think it makes
for a cameo, it makes sense. Yeah.
Here's how I think it makes sense. Just hear me out. So I think that they're trying to make this movie a big spectacle, obviously, and it needs to be a spectacle. And fun cameos, and when people are already worried, this movie's not going to mean anything in the future of DCEU, so let's put a bunch of cameos in there. Let's get everybody hyped and all this kind of thing. So that when Superman Legacy drops and reboots this whole thing, people will be like, okay, that was still pretty good.
And this one would get the most people talking too, besides Michael Keaton. They're like, they've even brought back Clooney. Can you imagine that? Bat nipples and all. That would be really funny.
Oh my God. And then there's a whole movement. Now we want the Clooneyverse. Bring him
Clooney.
back, everyone. Oh my God. Do you think James Gunn would want to do that?
Yeah,
he puts himself in a position where now there's another rabid fan base asking for this.
I doubt there's going to be a huge groundswell for bringing the Clooneyverse though.
He flat out said Clooney is not coming back. He flat out said, and he's not going to lie because he's already got all these crazy Snyder fans.
You want to bet your popcorn on it?
Oh yeah. Absolutely. He's not going to. He's not going. You know what you do? You just don't comment. If someone says, someone tweets at him, "Hey, is George Clooney?" You just don't respond if he's in it. You don't come out and say, "No, he is definitively not."
that will be used against him in the future.
Exactly.
It
You
is.
got these Snyder guys that are like nailing him to the wall for every little thing. Oh, his wife was in too many movies. Oh, he's promoting a Marvel movie. They're after him for everything. If he told a lie and said he's not in there, and then he was in there, are you kidding? No, that's not a chance.
Well, we're betting our popcorn on it, right? The Crazy Joe popcorn.
Would you bet more than
we're betting popcorn when we go see Flash. And then if I'm right, I throw my popcorn at you. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know how that works. How do we bet the popcorn? Because the movie's over. If this is supposedly at the end of the movie, are we having popcorn after the movie? I don't know.
I'm sure you guys will hear. If this is true, you guys will hear even before you set foot in that theater.
Yeah, yeah.
I better not. I don't want spoilers.
You know, it's I don't think he's coming in this movie. I mean, it's possible, but I don't think so. But there is a call for Clooney. I mean, if they do the actual Flashpoint series with an older Thomas Wayne as Batman, Clooney would be perfect to play it, or somebody like that.
Yeah, I can see that.
I want Clooney for Batman Beyond. You can't do this. You can't do it. Can't do it. You're gonna have fans asking for stuff. Can't do it.
Well, James doesn't listen to them anyway. So.
Yeah, that's why he's not doing it. Exactly.
I think he should cast Brie Larson as the new Harley.
Oh my God, that'd be amazing.
I'd be up for
kicked
that.
ass in the new Fast and Furious trailer that just dropped. I don't know if you guys saw it.
All right, no, this is Syl's scoop. So if Syl gets it wrong, I don't have anything against them, but I will say, hey, I watched the Flash movie. There's no Clooney. All right.
I never would have guessed this. And like it was so many people guessing. Now keep in mind the sources that told me this was the same ones that knew about the Flash reshoots, that knew the same when Cavill was on set.
Yeah.
When Ben was on set when the reshoots occurred.
And that's the same, and that's the same where Casey Walsh was saying Syl's full of shit a year ago, but now he's tweeting out that the movie isn't locked and they made more additional changes. So I actually think Casey Walsh is more full of it than Syl. Sorry. Wait, what? Degrassi, if Max is right, there better be a hole in the bottom of the what?
Always.
That sounds like
Always a hole in the bottom.
move.
Yeah, you don't go to the movies with someone and not put a hole in your popcorn bucket. I mean, what do you think this
What the
is?
hell is going on here?
I don't know.
It's called the buddy system.
Exactly.
One hand helps the other hand.
So
exactly.
Doesn't this make James Gunn look amazing though? Because everyone's always complaining, "Why are you tweeting? You should be doing this, dude." He's changing endings. He's writing scripts. Look at him. The man
No,
can't
that doesn't make me
He's a
feel.
workaholic.
I don't think that makes it amazing. I would have preferred the original ending if it was accurate. That they were saying, "Barry, come get me," that links it up exactly to BVS. That would have been great. Where we were searching for one of the established Batman instead of doing a new one again.
Yeah. Send Casey Walsh the link, like World Champ suggests.
I don't want to. I don't really want to talk to him though. I've talked with him in the past. I was on other streams, but I don't really want to talk to scoopers anymore. I just want to talk about them. I don't need to talk to them really.
There will be a space about you tomorrow, Max.
No.
George Clooney is supposedly the mystery cameo.
Yeah.
that Ezra Miller Flash sees.
I think he's right on this.
He finds a Bruce Wayne.
He was right on right on the Cavill cameo, but he called it before anyone else. And at that same point, Casey Walsh was talking about maybe it's the Ta-Nehisi Coates Superman or something like. Oh my God, who actually thinks that's still happening? So, all right, let's finish this up.
What this shows us is, hey, that's another iteration of Bruce Wayne. And the DC world is wide open. Because see, James Gunn wasn't lying when he said, we have to do nothing to set up my world. There's a quote out there. James Gunn said, I have to set up my world with this. Well, he didn't set up his world. He's just showing that the multiverse is open. So the general audience, when they walk out of this film, they're like, oh yeah, he used to be Batman. And Keaton used to be Batman. And Ben was Batman.
Mm-hmm.
So
thanks.
It's
honestly, though, what if he does want to use Clooney for Batman? Maybe if they don't get a new one, okay. If they do not get a new Batman for Batman the Brave and the Bold, they're probably not going to use Affleck. He seems like he's done right now, right? So out of the established Batman, who would make the most sense? I think it would be Clooney.
I want to point this out. The picture that Gunn tweeted out with Robin holding a sword about the slash Batman's throat.
Mm-hmm.
That's not Bruce Wayne. That's Dick Grayson in the suit.
Yeah.
So, you know,
that's true. If they go with Dick Grayson, that'd be different. But if they go with Bruce, because that doesn't necessarily mean that he's exactly doing beat for, exact characters from that and more of inspired by, I don't know.
That'd be awesome though. That'll piss a lot of people off.
Axel, you're making a world champ upset that you're calling them names. Because I watch all Scoopers, Axel. That's why. Be nice. I mean, you could say he's wrong without being, calling them names. Really, honestly.
Yeah, this is sophisticated discourse over here on Max's channel. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Oh my.
Listen to the idiot.
No, but honestly, answer that. If they were gonna go, okay, if they don't do the Damian Wayne is the or if they don't. Wait, I'm sorry. What did you say, Bruce? For who's gonna be that Batman? It's gonna be
Dick Grayson.
Dick Grayson. If they don't have Dick Grayson, if they
Bruce
actually
Wayne
go Bruce,
disappeared.
and it's not Bruce. It's not a new Bruce Wayne. Who would be the most likely? I think actually Clooney would over Keaton now, because Keaton already did a bunch of stuff, was removed, had a movie shelved. Apparently may have been yeah. So far, so I think actually, if they go with a literal Bruce and not Dick Grayson as Batman and for Brave and the Bold, and they use an old actor, not a new, I do think George Clooney would be the best choice, and would be surprising in that he's having a son too. I think he would do good as a Bruce with a son.
He's still too old.
Mm-hmm.
For the role.
I hate to be ageist, but yeah, I agree.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I think he is. I think
Cool.
all of them except for Affleck are, truthfully. And Bale, I guess, would be fine too. But
What about a Batman Beyond situation? Could you see Clooney doing that?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's age appropriate. And so would Keaton, truthfully.
I think he would be amazing in that, actually. I loved his Bruce Wayne. Like, I think he has the potential to play the best Bruce Wayne. I really liked his Bruce Wayne in Batman and Robin.
I think Affleck was personally the best Bruce Wayne, not Batman, but Clooney was number 2, absolutely.
Yeah.
Degrassi says the DCU Batman will be Dick Grayson. Okay.
Oh,
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not sure.
I don't believe
How does
that.
that work? Yeah.
You don't believe that, Crazy Joe?
That means Batman already existed. They already tried that right?
Well, in the story, Batman was dead at the time, but not dead. He was trapped in time. And Dick Grayson took over the mantle, and it was Batman and Robin with Damian.
Well,
Damian hated him.
I fully believe that George Clooney's in this. I really do.
Oh, wow.
I do.
You have a lot of conviction on that. Yeah. Okay.
But why?
Is this an effective way?
Because it'd be an interesting water cooler moment. They even brought back. It seems like a fun idea. Lots of things to add to having him in, and I actually think there's not a lot of expectations with bringing Clooney.
I could see a Clooney cameo while he's in the multiverse, but not at the end of the movie. Not when it's, hey, we've returned to our timeline. Like that, it just doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Clooney
ain't below that either. He cameoed in the Spy Kids film.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, and he hasn't been doing a lot of stuff recently, so he's not super busy.
Well, he's got small children now.
Is this an effective way to show the DC world is open? Arnold Mr. Freeze is canon out. A DC world out there.
That would be amazing. Yes.
He's getting better by the second.
God, that was disappointing. I had a lot of
wide open
anticipation
now.
for that.
It's canon. Mr. Nipples is canon.
Okay.
That's what I said. No.
They got to laugh to keep from crying.
Look at that.
I would like to see Dick Grayson in some form on the big screen.
I was pretty shocked hearing this.
Introduced properly.
Really shocked hearing this.
Yeah.
That credit card is canon.
I mean, that would also kind of subvert, because that's always been the controversial aspect of bringing Robin into the movies, the cinematic, because everyone wants him really young, but then that's kind of like problematic of like how would they do that? How would like
Yeah.
Christian Bale's like Batman deal with like a kid running around, you know?
No,
So-
I'd want a later one. Yeah.
So they might, so it kind of makes sense if they go like the he's already grown up angle.
Yeah.
They won't have to deal with that.
It makes sense if Ezra travels to Clooney's timeline or another variant timeline. Yeah. Calm down, senior nerd. It's just fun. People take this too seriously. It's like weird. All right. Well, we could go to some other topics here. I really enjoyed that. I love speculating. I love rumors. Well, I guess I will be upset if George Clooney's not in it now. I guess I did set up my expectations. I'm really looking forward to seeing that happen. I think that would be a fun cameo at the end. Although I would have preferred what they were originally going to do is hinting at a future, because I want to see a future, and now it seems like they're going to go overly vague at the end of the Flash.
Well, they're not showing any end credits to test audiences, so you never know.
Yeah. I think if anything, it's probably just the after credit scene, because they have a great movie apparently. So I don't think they're going to tinker with it that badly to the point that the ending, like the final 10 minutes or something, is completely changed.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the actual article here. This is also probably from Casey Walsh.
Mm-hmm. Every article I've seen reference Casey Walsh.
Yeah. The Flash movie ending reportedly gets last minute. Okay, so this is just what we went over. All right. What is likely refers to George Clooney's Batman? So it's kind of like Casey Walsh is confirming.
Wait, so they're releasing it on the 25th, but to the public in June, right?
It's gonna screen at CinemaCon next week
for critics,
right? And
they're confident with the film, obviously.
Oh yeah. Oh, you want to hear delusional? I heard one person online, like one of the angry fanboys who's out to get this movie. He was claiming that they're showing it at CinemaCon because they have no faith in it. And that way, when the movie bombs, how's this for a conspiracy theory? That way, when the movie bombs in June, they could use as an excuse, oh, well, the ending leaked because we saw it at CinemaCon. The ending leaked, and that's why it bombed.
Oh, God. Well, that would be contrary to every historical piece of evidence we have where when they know the movie's bad, they absolutely don't show critics.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. They don't have Tom Cruise promoting it.
Well, there you go.
I'll tell you the scoops that I get annoyed with is the Fantastic Four scoops, but apparently there's a lot of smoke near Adam Driver.
Yeah, somebody explain to me, why is Jim from The Office not a no-brainer for Mr. Fantastic?
I don't think he wants it. Like I think they. I don't know. I don't think they.
Why wouldn't he want it?
I don't know.
We'll have to read the script.
I didn't like his portrayal of Mr. Fantastic.
What?
I thought he was good.
It's okay to me. I didn't hate it.
He didn't tear the house down. Like, what was his
Right.
best line? Like, like whatever. He did.
Yeah, I agree with you,
He
Max.
seemed very bored. He seemed very bored. And
He seemed like Mr. Fantastic to me. I don't know. He seemed right for it.
But Adam Driver, I think, is
Definitely
great.
looked the part.
That's honestly, this is an upgrade for me.
Yeah,
Adam Driver is Dr. Doom. Okay?
He's a better actor.
All right. They need a good actor for Dr. Doom. Adam Driver would have been perfect.
But then it would be like he's typecast because he was Kylo running out of mask.
I hope they don't do Dr. Doom right away. I really don't.
I do.
Really?
What, you want to see
look
Silver
at me.
Surfer again?
I want to see Mole Man. I want to see the Puppet
like to see Mole Man,
Master.
yeah.
I kind of feel like Doctor Doom to the Fantastic Four and Lex Luthor to Superman are different than your average villains. They're almost part of the supporting cast because of the way they relate to the characters,
Their
like
gravitas and everything. Yeah,
exactly,
like Magneto.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, they should cast a real actor, not a cheap fan. What are you talking about, Axel? This is great.
No, he's talking about
I
what's
think
his name
actors
from The
have hot
Office?
takes.
Oh yeah, that was a fan casting. I thought
Yeah.
he was terrific in that little bit in Doctor Strange.
Well, everybody has bad
Yeah.
takes, even you.
Keep in mind,
He was fine. He was fine.
Well, this
keep in
one,
mind, Nicolas Cage is Nick Fury. Not Nicolas Cage. What's his name? Sam Jackson is Nick Fury. That was a fan cast because everybody liked him in the Ultimates, and he kind of looked like Sam Jackson. Everyone was like, "Oh, they got to get Sam Jackson," and they did.
God, the Ultimates was such a
well,
good run.
this is coming from Daniel RPK, another scooper. Yeah, I do think I'm in the middle. I know people hate scoopers. I don't. I think the industry uses them. I think some things they overstep and they leak stuff they're not supposed to get funds and grift. But overall, what does it do? It keeps these properties in the movie talk conversation all year long. So, and then you see stuff like with the Joker, they put all this stuff out there, and it can be exciting. So, it's middle road. Scoopers don't get everything right; they don't get everything wrong either. And then the reason DC scoops are all over the place is because DC's all over the place. It's that simple to me. It's like I don't understand why people argue about this. Warner Brothers changes their mind like day to day.
It's like treading water, basically.
Yeah.
This seems to have more legs to it, though. This seems like his agents leaked it or something like that to get the hype going.
Well,
he has a contract coming or something.
Yeah, exactly.
This supports additional rumors claiming the Marriage Story Star was in the running to play Mr. Fantastic. I think it would be a good casting. I'm really looking for. I also have some friends, other movie talk pundits. They're like, I don't care about Fantastic Four. I'm like, what?
If it's done correctly, you will care about it because it's been done like crap every time we've seen it.
I don't know where. I think everyone wants to see Fantastic Four, don't you?
I disagree. It's been done like crap every time. The one we see in the picture here from 05, I thought that was really good.
And Roger Corman's.
It was very now.
All right,
I love that one.
The Tim Story one was very faithful to the tone of the The only thing I think they got wrong there was Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom sucked in that movie, but I mean, man, the casting was good. I like that movie.
Axel, I'm going to push back at you. How are they ruining the movies? The movies
because you just said so. You just said how. You just said yourself. If this doesn't happen, now I'm going to be disappointed.
But the movie's still going to be what it is. It's still going to be what it is.
Yeah, I know, but they do like they were talking on the Campia show today about a bullshit rumor all these scoopers put out there that's not true at all, and that was that Aquaman had test screenings and it was so bad people left, and now to this day I'm seeing people online go, well, I'm not seeing Aquaman. Word is terrible.
And
well, that wasn't true, and now people are saying they're not even going to bother seeing the movie.
How do you know it wasn't true about the test screenings though?
Because they didn't have test screenings for that movie.
But how do you know that? You don't know that though, because they do test screenings
this early.
Listen, yes.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
This is what's
I'm
frustrating
afraid.
with these arguments. Like scoopers like, well, I didn't hear about it. So
And
who
who reported that the test screening was a disaster if there was one? Was it the
all
people
the
in the test
scoopers.
screening?
All
Because
the
they had to
scoopers.
sign a non-disclosure agreement.
Crazy Joe is like so trusting of people. It's like he's like, you mean they signed a non-disclosure agreement and they still disclosed?
Yeah, well, they wouldn't because they get their ass sued off. I mean, go ahead and try it.
They could be subtle about it.
Yeah. Even Nintendo stuff leaks. There's Nintendo leak.
Well,
I
you
know
know,
PlayStation stuff.
but not for nothing. You see how it goes with scoopers. One scooper will leak it, then somebody will come like, "Well, I just confirmed that with my people." So, and then it's a chain reaction. Then they all say it.
I think it's more likely that someone talks than someone doesn't. People can't help themselves. They're gossipers. They're talkers, and it doesn't matter.
They could be making a mountain out of a molehill. It could have been, hey, the agent, Marvel contacted the agent, and now the agent is like gonna tell Adam, and then someone heard that, and then it turns into they're really thinking about it.
I'm gonna push back against Crazy Joe even more now. You know where they consistently break non-disclosure agreements?
Where?
Star Wars Celebration. They say do not film this. It always leaks out. People always break non-disclosure agreements. And let you know.
And for example,
did the whole theater Because if it's so bad, the whole theater was leaving. Did everyone leak? Oh yeah, I walked out. Or was it one guy who didn't like the movie and he's like, everybody walked out? I mean, come on, it doesn't make any sense.
Another really good example is like a boxing event that just recently happened. The guy who does the Pokemon theme song, right? He was at the event singing for an entry for somebody, and somebody recorded it. And it's a pay-per-view event. You're not supposed to show that stuff. So that's kind of breaking, the law type of thing.
Wait a minute, Senior Nerd. No, because Shazam 2 was fantastic and nobody went to see it. It doesn't matter. People don't go see shit.
I do agree with people are there for the accusation. They're not there for the truth. Like if it ends up being good, it could. These bad reports could slightly hurt, but then if you really get really good word of mouth, the only problem is it has supposed to be the most amazing word of mouth ever for a DC movie to be really profitable now because the brand is in the shitter.
No, but good trailer. But the way I see it is right. Even if it like they have Amber Heard in the film, it's still gonna affect the film because of the fact of she's in the film and because of her bad reputation right now in the Hollywood business. So I'm sorry, Crazy Joe. Even the way I see it is
people don't really think like that though. I mean, you got these like fandom menace dudes online going, I'm going to boycott a fandom. They don't hold any power. If they did, Snakes on a Plane would have been the biggest movie of all time.
Yeah, but a lot of normie people don't like Amber Heard. That thing was really public,
Yeah, that thing was really public, and so it's like
a movie for Amber Heard. Sorry.
No, but the way I see it is not boycotting, but they won't go see it because
they'll see it if they love the first one. Yeah. If they love the first one, they're going to go see it. They're going to be like,
love Jason Momoa.
Well, look how many people boycotted Black Adam because of a color of a suit. That was ridiculous.
Agreed.
Yep.
Right. I enjoyed Black Adam.
What was the boycott for the color of the suit?
Yeah, they wanted the Superman's suit to be black instead of red and blue.
Yeah, it was like the Superman cameo wasn't the Zack Snyder Justice League suit instead of the Man of Steel.
Which doesn't even make any sense because Zack Snyder made Man of Steel too. These people are stupid.
Like I said, I didn't mind.
We got just to give everyone an update. We have 39 people watching and only 14 likes.
Come on, everyone.
That's embarrassing.
It is a thanks, perp.
Come on, don't do this to Max.
Look, Crazy Joe's caught. He's like, I forgot to like it. I saw you move your mouse.
Oh no, I still didn't like it. I don't know how I like from StreamYard. I'd have to go and find the stream on YouTube or something.
Okay, yeah, never mind.
Come on, hit the like button. Where else are you gonna get wacky comedy?
Can we like from StreamYard? I don't think.
Yeah, I can send you in the private chat so you can
pull up your YouTube and mute it. That's all.
Yeah.
Jacob McKenzie has a good comment. I heard Adam Driver didn't want to do these kinds of movies anymore.
It's in the private chat for you.
Oh, are you serious, Voltaire? An actress said they didn't want to do it, so they get more money.
Wow, he said he
that helps to negotiate.
Liam Neeson said in 1995. Liam Neeson said he didn't want to do action movies.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Did he really? Oh my god.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So.
That movie where he's an ice road trucker is an amazing
actors
film,
always say, I'm not going to do that again. And then they come around like 75% of the time.
Did the check clear? That's the question.
Later on, when they go experiment and they do really like indie films and they don't make that much money, and then they look at that money and they're like, oh wow, maybe I'll give it another shot.
Yeah.
Go watch White Noise, everybody, on Netflix with Adam Driver. That's a really good movie.
Just let's look at that story of Charlie Sheen and that showrunner,
What's his name? Vin Diesel. Let's not forget he left the Fast and the Furious and Triple X. And then he was like, you know what? I'll go back and do both of those again.
Adam Driver is making legitimate films where he's like,
he's a hot commodity right now. Like Scorsese wants him, everyone wants him.
I don't even like the concept of Gucci, but it was
me begging for a like got me one more like. We're up to 15 likes.
And that was me. I was the one more like.
Oh wow.
Wow.
People don't want to like people don't want to like me tonight. Oh, you're hurting my feelings.
Hang on.
Okay.
Perp,
People
can
love
Perp
their
give us his
scoopers.
review of 65? I'm curious about it now.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I saw 65.
And he just dips. Like, he's
That's
like,
his
Did he
review.
leave?
That's what
yeah.
he did last time. This is his little joke.
Oh no.
It's a pretty terrible movie.
He doesn't want
I
to
don't
be.
think it's terrible.
No, you think it's terrible? Why? You
I-
love everything, man.
I hated it. I
I
hated it.
liked it better than Shazam 2.
I don't like everything. I only like good things. The thing is, I don't talk about the shitty movies because I didn't like them.
Well, he's not coming back. Perp's not coming back.
I didn't want Perp to leave. I just wanted his review.
Oh,
Jeez.
God
wow.
damn you, Voltaire.
I didn't know. I mean, it's his performance art. He's like an Andy Kaufman type. I guess he has.
Yeah.
to be.
Oh wow.
Man,
You know what the
Perp.
worst? You know what the worst movie I ever saw was?
Shazam 2.
No. Are you kidding? That movie's fantastic.
Shazam 2 was one of the best movies this year.
Oh yeah, it is the best movie I've seen so far this year. We'll see if anything tops it, but right now it is my number one.
I'd rather watch Shazam 2 over Mario. Ugh.
Oh, absolutely. No disagreement there.
Get him out. Get him out. please.
What do you call it? Southland Tales with The Rock, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Justin Timberlake. Worst movie I ever sat through. Horrible.
Is that the one where Justin Timberlake was like a meth dealer or something like that? He was like a tough guy.
I think so, and John Lovitz was a cop, and yeah, Sarah Michelle Gellar was like a porn star. Terrible movie.
Oh wow! I'm looking at Twitter. R&B is going at it again.
Max, is your
Yeah.
could I send a link? Should I send us a link to Senior Nerd or no?
He could come on, but you know what, Senior Nerd, I asked you to be nice in the chat, and the first thing you like is send me a link. I'm like, wow, I really want to send you a link now after you're being aggressive in the chat.
Send the link. Send the link to R&B. Get him in here.
No, he's
Okay.
He's,
Okay, so I'll send it to him. Yes.
okay, yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
But let's check this out on Twitter with R&B.
Speaking of R&B, we gonna get to talk Star Trek. I'm really excited to talk about Section 31.
Oh, don't.
It's gonna be
don't
so
talk about-
good.
No. If you talk about that, you'll get Brian upset.
Look at this. I'm not gonna read of it, but he says, of course, this ist phobic piece of
Racist, sexist,
R&B.
homophobic.
No, don't. Now it's demonetized. Christopher.
That doesn't get you demonetized.
Yes, it does. Yes,
No,
it
it
does.
doesn't. I've never been demonetized for saying those
Okay.
things.
Goes back to his rhetoric of bullshit on the eve of Star Trek Picard finale, rallying all his ist goons behind him. What a effing whoa! All right, Senior Nerd.
The
Perp
Raptor is back.
Oh, Perp is back. Good.
But
Thank
man,
God.
this is the only way I'm going to get on R&B show is if I attack him. Hey, Senior Nerd, how's it going?
Wow.
Hello, Senior Nerd.
Hi. Wow, Mandalorian's the season finale.
We talked about the beginning of the show.
That was an hour ago.
No, because I will tell you what happened today.
See, you come in and you're off topic. This is why I don't like. I'm talking about this right now. We can get back to Mandalorian.
We're talking about the Viceroy of
You don't care? I care.
So
I'm
what
going to
happened-
remove you if you say it talk like that.
So what happened this morning? It was 8 o'clock. Literally, the whole electricity of my neighborhood was cut off.
Senior Ned, can I
That's
say
all right,
something?
that's all right. One topic, please. One topic.
No, because you talking about you were talking about Mandalorian. I wasn't able to watch the beginning of the show because I was watching the season finale, and because the whole electricity went out in my neighborhood, which it happens. There's rolling blackouts in my neighborhood. So I was like, okay, I'll come back 8 minutes, and then I'll wait 5 minutes, then 10 minutes, then an hour, and then freaking 10 hours later, the electricity came back. So I finally saw the final 2 episodes, and I just beginning. So that's why I was late. So there you go.
Yeah, Max, give him a break, dude.
Yeah,
the man
seriously,
paints a story paints a picture with words. I mean, come on.
Yeah, so that was a reason why I wasn't in the beginning. So All I can say is that was I call it. I called
called
it.
what?
I mean, should we go with spoilers?
We already
Do you
did
want-
spoilers.
Okay. I knew they were not going. They were not going to kill Dinge. I knew it. I knew
I
they were
never
not
said
going
that. I never said that.
Did you like what was it, Nick? Nick from
Damn
Echo.
you, Max.
Oh my God, senior
Yeah, you
man.
did. You freaking did. You was like,
No,
yeah,
I
believe it.
didn't. I think that was Voltaire. I wasn't me.
I did think he was going to die.
Max caught in 4K.
Even Nick didn't
like-
say it.
I said
like
I
freaking
think. Oh
Nick.
my god, it was my speculation.
You said
Well,
Syl
like
told you he
Nick
died.
from Echo Chamber was like, oh yeah, they're going to kill all
Nick from Echo
Nick,
Chamber? You mean Echo Base Network?
Nick from Echo Chambers.
whatever the guy,
Oh,
whatever the
God.
guy
Echo
is.
Chamber.
He
Was
takes
like-
an L. He takes an L for that take.
That's pretty funny.
He was like, oh, they're gonna kill Dinge because Pedro Pascal doesn't want to play the Mandalorian more, and Palpatine returned.
This
None
is
of them
what
happened.
everyone
That
knows
was
So I
now.
figured-
Why,
I-
why Senior Nerd
So,
interrupted
yeah, I
the
called
show
it. I was
to
like,
say,
they were not
to
gonna
say he
kill
was
off,
right. This is why he
you
went
know,
on the show to say he was right. Yes.
they're not gonna let Pedro go. So, but I thought it was too happy. Did you ever thought it was a too happy ending?
I was too happy until you got here.
All right, so
Well,
what did
No, I'm just
Robert
kidding.
Meyer
Senior.
say?
I'm just kidding. Senior.
Goddamn Disney and their happy endings.
What did Robert say?
No, it was very optimistic, but it was too hopeful. Like
Too hopeful.
I don't know. Yeah, it was. I mean, it was nice, but I don't know. I thought it would be nice was like when Dinge got his house, he could take off his helmet and look at Grogu, who's now his son, playing with the frog. And we see him smile. We never saw, Dinge smile. So I thought that was the point, but he never could help it. So.
Whatever.
Okay, back to the topic of Robert Meyer Burnett.
Thank you,
Right,
RMP.
right.
Thank you, Senior Nerd. I appreciate you coming on to say that you were right. Now I know why you wanted to come on so bad.
Yeah.
Uh,
Glad you got your power back.
Yeah. This is
Yeah,
Robert
it was
Meyer.
weird.
Robert Meyer Burnett. Always enlightening when someone blocks you so you can't see the vitriolic, hateful venom they spew in your direction. As always, I invite the gentleman who fancies himself a Trek fan to come on my show and make these accusations to my face. I expect him to show his work.
Oh man,
Well-
they have to be a Trek fan. Damn it.
Well, you got to show
think I'm on the show.
you got to show the tweet that Julian Brown was responding to.
I'm not making accusations to him, though.
I just want
Well,
to
he says it right here. I showed that. Yeah. Of course, the ist.
No,
is,
the one that prompted that reply. There was a tweet from Robert Meyer that prompted that reply.
Oh, where? How do you get to that?
Well, click on Julian Brown,
Okay.
and then what's above
No,
it?
you have to go to. You have to
No,
go.
go to
that's
Robert's.
a screenshot. That's a screenshot.
Click the Robert's name.
Right there.
Yep.
Okay.
Go down.
What the
Oh,
hell's
jeez.
going on here?
I'm scared.
He's like, I know, I don't want to. Okay.
Keep going.
Okay.
What is
Okay.
that? No, that's not it.
I don't know. He's talking about Picard all the time.
Yeah, there's one where he says he's talking about Academy.
I did see him going hot on Trek. Like he said, he's going back to being upset with the other new Trek.
You know what's funny is he complains about the new Star Trek shows, but what people forget is Robert Meyer Burnett has not liked Star Trek since the 90s, because he himself has said he didn't like Voyager. He himself has said he didn't like Enterprise, and now he doesn't like Discovery. Like Picard's literally the first Star Trek series he's liked since Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, he's going hot today. Oh, whoa. I didn't know there was going to be music there. Okay. So he's going hot tonight. That's all.
That is all.
I like him, Degrassi. I don't want to say he's a piece of... No.
I've met him. I've hung out with him. I've had
Robert
nothing.
Meyer?
I've had good experiences with him. I know him to not... He's very liberal-minded. He's a very liberal-minded guy. So I've never seen any evidence of him being racist, homophobic, any of those things.
No.
However,
believe that.
the people he hangs out with definitely are. There's no question he keeps bad company. Now, we can't do guilt by association. Maybe he can. I don't. I don't know why he hangs out with those people. I can't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me, but he does, and that's why he's got this reputation.
Guilt by association.
Yeah.
But I do disagree with some of his hot takes. For one, let me see, when he was talking about he gives a lot of hot takes about you shouldn't have to be concerned about seeing yourself identified on screen to relate to the character. And I agree with that to a point, but representation does matter to a lot of people, and that comes from a place of privilege to be always represented. So just because you have a different opinion on that doesn't make you the arbiter in what's right on people feeling represented. He's like, you shouldn't have to feel representation and see yourself on screen to be into the story. That's subjective. I agree, but that's from a place of that's where I disagree with him. And he said this consistently. This take, that's where I disagree with him.
I think that both are true. I think that it's important to have representation, but I don't think you necessarily have to be you have to find your representation.
But that's coming from a place of privilege as a white man, like I am too, where we've always been represented.
Right. The character
you don't know until you've lived a different existence.
Exactly. But the character I most related to on Star Trek The Next Generation was Geordi, a black blind guy. I'm a white guy who can see, but he was the guy I related to the most.
No, but that's my major issue with this.
It's also a little hypocritical that they're wearing stuff like "Make Marvel Male Again." They want to feel represented. So in a way.
No, but I mean that's my major issue with his actual own words as Rob Ryan. I've seen him consistently say this thing. I think it's stupid that you feel you need to feel represented in identity politics to enjoy the product. I said, well, it's more nuanced than that, and that's coming from a place of privilege where you've always been represented. How about growing up as a child and never seeing someone like you in entertainment, and then finally getting that? That is quite a moment. That's where that's my major issue with this take. But I don't hate the man for that. No, I would say that's my main issue with your takes. And he goes along with the people that you don't like, Crazy Joe, and I have issues with too, their commentary movie talk that say that all the time, is he goes along with that opinion. That's an opinion, and that's not for everyone.
It's also, when it comes to Star Trek, he's a bit of a gatekeeper, because I've heard him say things like the show Prodigy, Star Trek Prodigy, is designed as a children's show to bring kids into the Star Trek world. And I've heard him say things like, when I was a kid, I loved Star Trek, and I didn't need a kid to be kidified. Like I wanted to be like these adults, and they were my role models. And it's like, yeah, me too, Rob. Me too. Same here. But I know from experience, as the kid who watched Star Trek, that I was alone. The other kids in my class did not watch it. I was a rarity. I'm willing to bet you, Rob, were a rarity. Most of the kids were not watching that. So they're trying to get the broader appeal.
I used to stay up till 11 o'clock to watch reruns of old Trek, when I was in school.
Channel 11?
Yes. Every night.
Well, just before you guys...
and that's because my dad was a huge Star Trek fan.
I would like the opinion, if you're willing to give the opinion on that, Bruce Perp Voltaire, about him saying you don't need to be you don't need to have that representation to be in the character. I understand that point, but it's not that simple based on the history of Hollywood and how underrepresented certain people were. What do you think of that?
Yeah. There's been studies about this. Like even in the 90s, I believe there was an attempt, there was PC culture in the 90s where they took away Speedy Gonzalez because they thought it was racist or whatever. And it was actually the Mexican American community that actually stood up and said, no, we like seeing that guy there. We like seeing a sort of a representative there. It feels good. Our kids love it. No, bring him back. It was actually the Mexican American community that brought Speedy Gonzalez back, saying it's not racist. We like to feel represented that way. It's for kids. It's fine. There's other studies too. I don't know if you guys have heard of the Scully effect. When X-Files first premiered, there was a big jump in women getting into forensics because of the character of Dana Scully and the
I have
fields,
heard of that.
all that stuff. Yeah. So like yeah, again, like Max said, there's probably people out there that for some reason they don't feel like they need to be represented, right? And so for
But that's not everyone.
Yeah, exactly. They're
That's not
putting it on
everyone's
to other
experience.
people, and I don't like that.
It's like that's
you shouldn't feel represented, right? Like they're putting
yeah,
the
that's not.
prescription
There's
on
some
others.
people that means a lot to, and that shouldn't be dismissed or
Exactly.
or vilified or called stupid. That people want to be represented because you haven't lived their life. Everyone's life experience is different. I'd like to get your take on that, Voltaire, too. But
yeah, I agree. I think that there should be representation. I think that kids seeing something like them is important, but I also see the point that there's a bit of an overcorrection going on right now. You know? And that happens, right? So that's a valid concern, in my opinion, in some of the stuff that's been coming out. Not that there's anything wrong with having representation and having female characters and whatever. And the stuff like race swapping, who cares? Like Nick Fury is Nick Fury now to me. I can't imagine him as the old Nick Fury anymore. You know what I mean? But the overcorrection of some of the stuff is, I get it.
Mm-hmm. All right. So Rhea says, it's not about seeing oneself in the story. There's a sense of being acknowledged for one's contribution to the plot in a way that's been exclusive from us throughout the greater part of a century. Yeah. Yeah. If you look at the movie industry, they have a lot. I understand Voltaire's point too about there's somewhat of an overcorrection, but there was a lot only till recently.
I have a hot take on that.
Yeah,
I have a hot take on that. Okay, so I think there might be a lot of cis white male writers out there that are terrified of losing their job, so they actually put characters in, you know, where they don't have that perspective, right? So you get a little bit of that cringe stuff going on sometimes because these people want to keep their jobs, right? It makes sense. So I think that could be sort of a factor of like the.
That is a super hot take that I 100% agree with.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree.
Well, I can say this: growing up, black, gay, in an all-black neighborhood, and seeing law enforcement only as Caucasian males. You know, it didn't really, not seeing people of color, other gay people in law enforcement on TV. And when you did see people of color and people that were LGBTQ, you know, it was stereotypes. You know, not all gay men are effeminate hairdressers, you know. And the first
Or
time
Lamar from Revenge of the Nerds, like that kind of
God.
thing. Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
That's so horrible. But, you know, growing up, you feel alone. You feel like no one sees you. No one hears you. So, you know, I didn't want to become, well, I didn't get into my profession until I took a field trip to a courthouse in the city, and I saw there was so many different people of color in law enforcement. I was like, whoa, cool. I could do this too. So, you know, some things inspire children from, you know, so many kids commit suicide because they feel alone. They're not represented. They're not heard. So.
Yeah. And that was the deal with the Scully effect. A lot of the women in the studies would say, I didn't know that option was available for me, which is like, it's again, we come from a place of privilege where we don't see that, right?
Yeah. I see. And Bruce's story about kids seeing that's where when people say representation is bad, I'm against that, obviously. But there's a limit to some extent where you can merge it in naturally and all that kind of thing. So, but I guess an overcorrection is better than no correction.
Here's my take on it. It's not even being about woke. It's about trends. The movie industry and the toy industry, they just hit you over the head with trends. When something was trending, like Black Panther, the original Black Panther did amazing on the marketing too about an extensive represented cast in front of and behind the camera, and that worked, and it made $1 billion, and it was a new character.
Yeah.
You know, then they took that trend and they adopted it to almost everything they're going to produce.
Yeah,
it's just trend. It's not even about woke. It's about overdoing trends.
Yes, and
marketing
even
towards that. Yeah.
In the horror community, when Get Out came out, there
Yes.
was an explosion of like black horror creators doing
Yes.
horror movies in you could see that literally right now on Tubi. If you go to Tubi, the amount of horror films done by the black community is like astounding now versus like just 5 years ago.
You know, horror movies was always, the joke was the black guy's going to die first.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know about this.
You're right.
Yes,
What?
it really
That
is.
happens? No, I never.
Yes, it
saw-
does.
Or 90s comedy.
They're basically the red shirts of horror movies.
Or
Yeah.
90s movies, you couldn't, or 90s and 80s movies, you couldn't have more than one black character in a movie.
As the friend, yeah, the
Yes.
friend. You gotta have
My
the friend.
favorite was in 1998. 2 movies came out same year, and LL Cool J was in both of them. It was the shark movie.
That was 99. Deep Blue Sea.
Deep Blue.
Oh, was it Deep Blue? Okay.
I love that
Okay, well,
movie.
they came out very close together
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it was Deep Blue Sea and Halloween H2O. And in
Yeah.
both movies, LL Cool J talks about how the black guy doesn't make it through situations like this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I remember he survived H2O. Then we're sitting in Deep Blue Sea and he's doing that routine again. Like, oh no, the black guy's always die in a situation like this. And my friend turned to me and goes, what's he talking about? He survived Michael Myers.
No one kills LL Cool J. No one.
You know, it's funny you bring that up. That's when I
That's
realized that was true when he brought it from the scene of that movie.
Okay, so however, there needs to be more leadership roles in order to have meaningful advancement against the hegemon. I'm struggling with that word of media hegemony and our greater societal unspoken segregation. If you're talking about in a media, that I think there has been a lot. Yeah, I think I see that. Yes, in the past, I do see a lot of advance. And honestly, if I get bored if there's not when I see a new project announced, if there's not a little bit of diversity in there, it does really seem dated and stale to me. So, but that's all I had to say about that. Did you have anything to say, Sid, your nerd?
Well, it's weird. I never noticed it about. I wasn't referencing enough. Then I think about how back in the day, I was obsessed with Zorro, right? And that's a Spanish superhero, right? Zorro. I remember the black and white series that play on the Disney Channel. Yeah, I dressed up as Zorro on Halloween. I have.
I'd like to see pictures of that.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I'm gonna look for it. I probably have it. I had the plastic sword and she drew the mustache on my face and give me the Zorro look, right? But it dawned to me that Zorro is Spanish, and Raven said, yeah. What happened?
Axel's ordering pizza.
What?
Sounds good. I'll have one too.
Sir, this is a
You don't want Australian pizza. It's not like American pizza.
Right. But they put
kangaroos.
Yeah, it's kangaroo meat. Yeah.
But it does represent. I remember watching the George Lopez show, and that's like my family a bit. Like my dad was no. I Love Lucy. Ricky Ricardo. That guy, Ricky Ricardo, was my dad. Like literally, he when he gets angry, he'll start yelling and screaming in Spanish, and he also had the same hair like Ricky Ricardo. And George Lopez, like the George Lopez mom, that's like my grandmother. She was like that. She was mean and nasty, say put people down. And representation to me does matter. I think about Black Panther, and I love Black Panther. But I was thinking, I want that for like Puerto Ricans. That's why I want Marvel to do a White Panther, White Tiger movie, because that could be us. And that happened with Shang-Chi.
Hey, Devin.
Yo, what's up?
Hey,
and then, I'm going to finish. So I feel like representation does matter, but to me, again, growing up, I didn't really notice that I didn't have that much people look at me unless they're they're gang members. They go, "Hey man, what you doing?" And with their t-shirt, they got the bandana, they hold their guns. "Hey man, what you doing?" Hey, I say, I see that. Less than
That's
something
what you
like,
see. Okay.
yeah, that's what I saw growing up. But then there's Zorro, and then George Lopez, Ricky Ricardo. That was the guys that I latched on to. And I see one more of that. Something that what T'Challa did.
Let me explain to Devin because before we move on, Devin probably gonna give a good take on this. We were just talking about the argument where a lot of movie critics you shouldn't have to see yourself on screen to relate to the character, and this is the representation argument. And I say, I understand that's a subjective opinion, but it's more nuanced to that, and that comes from a place of privilege. A lot of times from people that are always represented. Like, I'm a white man. I haven't had any problem being represented in media at all. And that's not for everyone. Even there's even some people, there's diversity of people that say this, that have this opinion. Like Rippaverse. He's like, you shouldn't have to feel, but that's not for everyone. Some people, representation really does matter, and they've been really underrepresented. Go ahead.
With Rippa, it's ironic because the character he wrote in Isom is a black farmer living in Texas, which I believe was Rippa's past as well. So it's like even when he says that, like he wrote what he knows.
It's just this thing about imposing your opinion on someone else. That's not, everyone has a different life story, different situation, and in entertainment and media, there's been a lot of underrepresentation for a long time. And it's not fair to say, you know what, you shouldn't have to see yourself and just dismiss that argument, because that's not fair. It's
not just like I'm going to talk about wrestling. I'm going to talk about wrestling. There's this wrestler called Maxwell Jacob Freeman. He's on AW. That's All Elite Wrestling, and he's Jewish, and he is the top wrestler right now in all wrestling. This Maxwell Jacob Freeman, and he's a proud Jewish man. And he talk about how his representation matter, because in the medium, someone who's Jewish is either a fat, greedy guy.
Be careful here, Senior.
That's what
you see. Okay, that's what you see in the media. Okay.
No. That's what he said he saw. Maxwell Jeffrey Freeman, who is Jewish himself, he said he sees two kinds of Jewish representation.
Okay.
Either they're fat. Yeah, this fat stereotype.
Bad stereotypes.
Or either they're the frayed, skinny, oh please don't hurt me kind of guys. And he's the guy he's a heel. He draws great promos, and he's a great wrestler, and they've never had before. So
you do bring up an interesting point, but I want to get to Devin. Thank you, Senior Nerd. But you do bring up an interesting point. A lot of representation in the past was just very unfortunate stereotypes. A lot.
Yeah, like I said to myself, the
which is even more detrimental and contributes to prejudices and race, ism.
Right.
When all you have is the stereotype representation. Yeah.
I saw very few good representations of Latinos growing up. But still I see them as criminals, as drug dealers, as people who beat up their wives. That's why I saw in TVs and movies.
Yeah, we get our asses kicked by Charles Bronson every day in the 80s.
Sorry to have you dive deep into a hot topic, Devin, but what's your take on people that try to? Well, you don't need to be represented. That you to relate to a character. I don't think that's completely fair. Yeah.
Can you hear me? First of all,
yes.
Sometimes this mic, I'm trying out this headset, and sometimes it sounds okay, sometimes it doesn't. So if I ever cut out, just let me know. Media is about more than just entertainment. There are a lot of for lack of a better word, subversive sort of I guess agendas that can go on with any kind of media apparatus, or any kind of piece of media that gets put out there. This is why that you have such conversations about how white people are represented, how black people are represented, how Latinos are represented, because yeah, sure, it's entertaining to watch, Charles Bronson beat the shit out of a bunch of people. But if all he's doing is beating the shit out of a bunch of Mexicans, then the implicit message that that's delivering to like an entire generation of people is that Mexicans are untrustworthy. They're the bad guys. They're the ones that are breaking into cars and shit. And same goes with black people that get typecast as villains or gang members or whatever, because then you end up with a society. There are people that believe that art imitates life. I personally believe that life imitates art. You get people that have knee-jerk reactions to, seeing a black kid, and it's like, oh shit, he's gonna rob me, so I'm gonna shoot him in the head twice for knocking on my door. You have those
This is
sorts
still
of things.
happening this week even. Yeah, this stuff's
Yeah,
happening.
so you have that element. You do have that element, and media plays a big role in in sending out messages that can. I know there's probably negative connotations with the word propaganda, but propaganda is a neutral word. It can be good or bad. You're basically getting a message out to the populace at large about how your society wants to view a certain topic. Whether you have a glut of movies out now that tout very openly populist economic messages, movies like Triangle of Sadness, and even shows like Indoor. I was talking with Justin a few weeks back when we were talking about how we thought that The Mandalorian had like some pretty right-wing kind of inclinations in it, and we were like, that's cool if it's a good show, that's fine. Especially considering that Andor is basically socialist propaganda. It's basically the Soviet Union in a TV show. Like, it's pretty fucking far left for a Star Wars show. So, but it all sends out the same messages about class struggle and racial dynamics and all of that sort of stuff. Because right now it connects to people and how people are struggling in their own day-to-day lives economically or racially or anything like that. So seeing yourself represented in a piece of media isn't so much like it's yes, it is entertainment, and there is something cool about seeing somebody that looks like you doing something cool. But I heard Crazy Joe talking about Jordy earlier from TNG. I remember watching TNG as a kid, and when I saw Jordy, and I know that there's a lot of like liberal takes about seeing someone that looks like you, and I didn't look at Jordy and was like stars in my eyes, like, oh, one day I could be a starship engineer too. Like, that's not how that works. How it works is you see Jordy, and he's just doing shit like all the other guys, and there isn't like, you don't have like a delineation like he's below this person or that person, or he's above this person or that person. They all get together in that room and talk about the problem that they're facing. The engineers come up with solutions. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, blah, blah, blah. And what that does is it puts into your subconscious the idea that, Jordy is on equal footing, and because he does have my skin tone, it also subconsciously puts in my mind that, I could be an equal footing out in that world too. Like, when you see that sort of representation over and over and over again, then you can create a generation of people that don't have to overtly struggle for racial equity and all of that sort of stuff. It's and using media to send out those messages is nothing new. Like, this is, there's one of the things I learned that was super interesting when I was, studying to become a graphic design major was, we study the art of Elizitsky, a Russian designer during the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia, and about how he had to use art to communicate to a mass group of people who were all illiterate. You're talking about trying to foment a revolution against, the czars and whatnot, to people who can't read. And he had to use pictures, basically like triangles and shapes and whatnot, to convey messages. And yeah, it was art. Sure, it was entertainment to a certain degree, but it was also just delivering like powerful messages for people to, congeal around the idea of a revolution. So this isn't new. It's just a common thing, using entertainment as a medium to deliver broader social commentary. And I don't think, and I think the comments of people that are saying things like, you shouldn't need to look like the person in order to relate to them, kind of misses that point. Like, it's not really the point whether or not they look like you and that makes you relate to them. The point is their existence, and just being able to exist in that space.
The baggage of the stereotypes was, some of the older representation is a lot of it. Yeah, there were some characters, but overly, just being the character and not the stereotype too, which we see a lot of in the past of Hollywood. Too much, that adds to, Thank you, Devin. I appreciate that. Anyone else want to? There's another hot topic that's coming up. It's from John Campia. He brought up an interesting topic today, and it does go to. Oh no, this might be too political. I don't know. We'll see.
It relates to movie talk, so
it does relate.
I've seen the.
Well, he's spinning it to movie talk. He's saying that the Fox settlement, and how should this affect movie news? So I haven't heard this at all. I'm not going to watch the whole thing, but I thought it'd be interesting for discussion. Of people in media knowingly lying for profits.
You went through about the during the trial about the Fox during what was it called? Dominion. Yeah, Dominion. They showed 4 clips from The Simpsons.
Yeah, people were laughing at that. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, I think
it's such a big story. I mean, that Nicholas Sandman kid, he did the same thing. It was just his settlement wasn't as widely publicized or anything like that, but he won a lawsuit against MSNBC and CNN and got a big settlement out of it. It happens.
Yeah.
No, the difference is that there was actual text messages, emails from the talent to the executives, knowing that they were lying and just let it go on, and they fired people from executive levels because they didn't want to go along with the lies. So that's why it's such a big deal.
Well, Dominion almost got $1 billion for it. I think Fox.
It's a shame that they settled. They should. I mean, in a perfect world, they would have rejected the settlement and just gone through the court process, because there needs to be a legal precedent to prevent Fox News or anybody else from doing that again in the future. And now we just side-skirted that issue.
Doesn't matter, because it's Fox News sell. They pretty much admit, yeah, we lied. Here's your money.
Yeah, but it may matter to the rest of the world, but
it didn't drag it out with all the receipts and everything. Yeah.
But
it would matter to a future court case too.
And Fox didn't cover it at all, so their audience had no idea what was going on.
Do you think this will stop them from doing it again?
No.
No.
They're going to make that money back pretty quickly.
They made that money in advertisers and everything.
Well, they'll be more careful at least with covering their tracks. Just
the pillow guy probably gave them more money.
Well, they still have another lawsuit, which is $2.7 billion heading their way from another company.
Yeah, but that's not as they really. I don't think that one's going to get as good results as this one, because I heard Dominion all over the place during this time period. I didn't hear that other company's name. But Dominion, they constantly said Dominion, Dominion.
Well, that's why one of the guys was taken off. What was his name? One of their anchors. I forgot his name. He was taken off because he kept mentioning that company's name. Him and Maria, I forgot her last name.
Maria Bartiromo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lou Dodd, they took off because of this.
I don't think this is going to affect movie news at all. And honestly, Campia, contributes in a little bit of this. I think we all do. I know people are going to say, Max, you do too. Yeah, I talk about rumors, but I don't tell you to believe it. I say I believe it. All right, but here we go.
John Campia shouldn't talk, actually, after everything he said about Ezra Miller in the last couple months without proof.
Okay.
You
All
know,
right. Well, let's see
Well,
what
he hasn't said Ezra Miller did anything. He just said that they'd be crazy to put him back in a movie again.
Sure.
I'd have to get. There's probably receipts of him believing. I don't know. I see your take too, Crazy Joe. That he was more like it's crazy to put him back in another project and not
it's
Cavill.
like
Yeah.
it's like what he was talking today about and yesterday about Jonathan Majors. He was saying a studio dropping him isn't saying he's guilty. It's just saying we have a business to run and we can't get wrapped up in this right now.
Yeah, that's very a very unfortunate situation. I don't know what to believe, but it does not look good. That's all I'm saying.
He's gone.
Let's see what Campy has to say about how this should affect movie news.
Whether or not to talk about this, but I do think it's important and relevant to the world of online movie fandom, and so I've decided to do it, despite the fact that we have a pretty strict rule on the show not to talk politics. So I'm going to try to approach this in a way that is as non-political as possible.
I appreciate that. I think that's a good way to preface it.
So I'm just going to need everybody to put on their big boy pants. And
I have
just
to put on pants? Whoops. No, I'm just kidding. I got my sweatpants on.
his chat wasn't very happy when he was doing this.
Oh, really?
No, they were arguing back and forth with each other. Mods arguing with mods.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's that? I never experienced
Dogs
that.
and cats living together. Mass hysteria.
I don't know.
Crossing streams, everything.
Okay.
like, let's just deal with the information here at hand. So let's get into it. Yesterday, a rather monumental thing happened. A major news organization had to settle and admit that they deliberately lied and misled their public. And the cost of that was over $787.5 million. $787.5 million is what Fox News had to settle minutes before the trial was about to begin, had to settle with a company called Dominion. Now, just a little bit of background on this, okay? And we're only going to deal in facts.
They do look happy there, the Dominion lawyers.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
A little bit of background in this. Of course, Joe Biden won the last presidential election, much like Donald Trump won the one before that. Barack Obama won the one before that.
Oh, that already is going to set off some people in the chat to say these facts, you know. Oh, boy.
Facts are facts.
Yeah.
Joe Biden won the last election. And there became a theory that, or some stories going around that the election was rigged. Now, there were, I believe there were 68 court cases brought to say that, to show that this election was rigged, and all of them lost. All 68 of them lost, including in front of many Republican appointed judges and things like that. Now, despite that, there continued to be some chatter. That's the way I'll put it. Some chatter that one of the companies that made the voting machines, the company's called Dominion, that they rigged the election, that they were in on it, that they purposely rigged their machines and all that kind of stuff, despite the fact that there was absolutely zero evidence or proof of that, as brought out in all the different.
I just want to hear the movie talk part. He's going
Fox
through the whole
News,
thing.
and I'm just giving you a little bit of background here.
Okay.
Fox News basically perpetuated this lie that the election was rigged and that the Dominion voting machines were in on it, and they were rigged and all this kind of stuff, and they push it. Now, what really killed Fox was when text messages, emails, and phone calls amongst the hosts of Fox, the executive producers of Fox News, when those got released and they found out that they themselves did not believe it. That the Fox News anchors who were saying and perpetuating this idea that the Dominion machines were rigged, their personal correspondence showed that they didn't believe that at all.
What's the sad? I don't want to get too political. He's going way deep in this, but what's sad is that this hasn't hurt their careers at all. Those people, like, how could you even look at them and respect them at all? It hasn't hurt them at all. You know, I don't want people to be hurt, but known liars that like are known to do this, it hasn't. It's only no one cares. Their audience doesn't care.
Well, look what with Alex Jones, like how he pretty much had to pay almost $1 billion to the Sandy Hook parents because he lies about them that it was a cover up, but he still got his followers. His followers.
That's what's disappointing in the age of social media. This really doesn't. The facts don't matter. Like
like he lost like almost his entire money, but people was like, no, we still believe that Sandy Hook is a hoax. It's mind blowing.
That's what's frustrating is that even after this, those people that profited off of lies are just going to be the same situation. Nothing's gonna change from this at all. I don't think so.
They knew that there was no proof or evidence of that. They knew that the machines were not rigged, and yet they got on air and kept perpetuating the myth that they were. Because of this, Dominion took them to court and were suing them for $1.6 billion. It's important to note that the company Dominion is worth $30 million.
Not anymore.
Oh,
not
really?
anymore. They're not.
I didn't know that part. I didn't know that.
They
Wow.
only make
No
12
wonder they were
million
smiling.
a year or something like that.
No wonder they're smiling. They got rich. Woo.
But they were worth roughly $30 million, I believe, was their market cap. And they sued Fox News for $1.6 billion for defamation. And it became clear that Fox was going to lose and lose badly. So at the last minute, as the jury was brought into the courtroom, as everything was about to start, Fox settled with Dominion for $787 million, I think is, $787 million, $0.5 and put out a statement that basically said this, that, we acknowledge that the court found that we spoke untruths, and we hope that this settlement shows that we are committed to journalistic integrity. So basically, they took accountability. We did something. We spread a lie that we knew was not true, and we spread it anyway. And we agree to be accountable, and we want to show the world that we want to be accountable, and we have journalistic integrity. So we accept accountability and responsibility for that. Okay. So with that as the background to this.
Wow, it took 4 minutes. Okay, now we'll get to the part I wanted to talk about, movie.
And that was a big story that was going yesterday. With that as the background, it raises an interesting question because we talk on the show about movies, movie news, TV, and streaming. And one of the big things that's watched and streamed on television is news or news. And that is a big thing. And to have a news organization say, we knew something wasn't true. We knew it, but we just pushed it out anyway because it got people to watch, right? We have viewers who wanted to believe it was true. So even though we knew it wasn't true, we kept perpetuating it because we wanted to get our viewers to keep watching our stuff. They took accountability for it, paid $750 million. Now I move on. But here's the question I have when it comes to the stuff that we talk about here, movies, movie news, TV, and streaming. The question I have and I wonder about is what will the impact of this result in court have on the world of movie journalism?
Zero. That's my initial thoughts there. I think it's not going to do anything. Does anyone have an alternate opinion? Okay.
I don't think Duke is going to get sued.
No, I mean, obviously, movie news isn't as important as other news.
Well, it's important to actors, especially when false narratives.
The accusation type stuff. Yeah,
just because, like, at the heart of this is it was a defamation lawsuit. Okay. So, like, and there was a lot of evidence to prove the defamatory claims that Dominion was making, or that Fox News was making against Dominion. So I guess I don't quite know why he jumped to this, but if the idea is that this is going to strengthen cases of defamation towards quote unquote news outlets that are reporting on untruths, I guess. Mm-hmm. I don't quite personally. I don't think that there's anything from this settlement that strengthens or weakens that environment. Because and you noted it yourself, Max. The thing is, they had a lot of evidence. It was pretty obvious that Fox was gonna burn in that courtroom. So
You also have to
if-
prove damages, right? So Dominion can say, "Well, we're a voting machine company, and you calling our integrity into play makes
Right.
us lose business." But what's an actor
Right.
going to say? Hey, you know, so.
Well, yeah, you could say I lost roles because of the things you said to me
Well,
about
like
me
like
in
if
the media.
Jonathan, like say if Jonathan Majors or Ezra's completely innocent, and then all those articles came out, and they didn't vet the people they interviewed. Well,
I mean,
you'd also
you
have
could
to
say
know
that
they
about
know,
like
you'd have to know that they knew that it wasn't true when they put the article out. That's the difference there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really the thing, is that Fox News was specifically lying, and they knew it. And it's not the same as reporting on,
All right, thanks.
let's
Crazy Joe
say,
has to head out. Yeah, thank you.
oh, see you later.
Yeah, I'm gonna head out. Tomorrow I'll be here to talk Picard, but man, we got to talk Section 31. I'm so amped. So amped for Section 31.
Hey Joe, are we gonna have you for the Evil Dead stream on Saturday too?
I didn't know you were doing one. I got mixed feelings on the Evil Dead. The trailer looks really good for a horror movie, but it doesn't look like an Evil Dead movie to me.
No.
So I'm like, I kind of want to see it, but I'm also like, it doesn't look like the Evil Dead. It looks too serious, quite frankly.
It was like the almost the same like the remake.
Yeah, the remake.
From like 5 years
2013.
ago.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll try to see it this weekend. Yeah, I'll keep an eye out.
Cool.
All right, see you, man.
See ya.
All right, sorry to interrupt, Devin. What were you saying? I apologize. I didn't mean to mess up your train of thought.
Oh no, I forget where I was at.
We did.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's see what else.
Deliberately
he has to say.
lying. Something about that. The actor difference between what Fox
proving
did and
defamation.
saying-
Yeah. So I think so like what a scooper or a media journalist or whatever is writing about more accusations against, if we're talking about Jonathan Majors, more people that are cooperating with the DA or whatever that have come out. Again, that's not a lie. It's not a like a concerted effort to like smear him. It's just reporting that more people are about to like cooperate with the DA. Now, the effect of that, the effect of reporting on that is not good for Jonathan Majors. It does cast him in a bad light. It puts the thought into people's head that, oh, maybe he actually did do this stuff. And as a result of that, people that he works with are gonna drop him. Like his media agents are gonna drop him. Like people that had him on the short list for roles are gonna drop him. And it's not that it's based on lies. Like he may be losing work, but it's not because someone's like lying about something specific. It's just, living in a climate where we're living in right now, where if a negative accusation comes out against someone, then the instinct of the online hive mind is to immediately move in one direction or another. It has the same kind of impact without having like the overtly malicious intent that that willingly defaming someone would have.
Well, I think the slam dunk moment in this specific case was they had someone say, give a counterpoint. Well, there's not a lot of credibility to these claims. And then they were texting back and forth that it was hurting their numbers, and to stop giving another opinion. I think that's why it was so against them. Like they had the actual receipts there that they tried to address the other side of the argument, that there's not a lot of substance to these claims. And then they're like, well, this is hurting ratings. Stop it. The truth hurts ratings. That's so it's a slam dunk.
Even the people at the news desk the night of the election that called Arizona for Biden, they were fired.
Yeah.
To perpetuate this lie.
Well, I don't think like CNN's much better either, but there's just so much receipts against Fox in this situation that they just lied for money. They just lied for money, and because what their audience wanted to hear. Okay.
Well,
right, so,
Dominion's going after what's Owanon and Newsmax next, and they did a lot more coverage than Fox.
Okay. They
Yeah,
could
they-
put
they-
those
they-
channels. They could put those channels out of business. Those are small potatoes.
Oh yeah, those like
We would be so lucky.
super right wing. They super right wing. Those,
Well,
those two channels.
Newsmax and OAN, I think they just started on YouTube. Like, I don't think they have a
Well, I
lot of
think if
money
I
behind them. I
think-
don't
I
think.
think-
I think
remember, I
OAN
think-
was actually founded by AT&T.
Oh, really? Okay.
Or at least majority funded by them.
You know,
Well, isn't
just in case there's no misunderstanding, we're not saying conservatives are bad. We're saying extremes on both ends are bad.
No,
Well,
you're
the
right.
thing
You're
is-
right. Rational. You're right.
Yeah, but the
There-
thing was
People don't accept this either. You know.
But the thing I think was in the OAN. Yeah, OAN was like dropped from DirecTV or Dish.
Dish, they were
Yeah,
dropped.
Dish. Yeah, they were dropped because they were too extreme for them. But they're not. But yeah, because AT&T, you mentioned AT&T owns Dish Network, so they still got the channels up.
Mhm.
So.
All right. Well, let's
and
see
the
what-
online movie world. And beyond what will the impact be, I question what should the
All right. Thanks,
impact be.
Perp. We'll see you Saturday.
Let me preface this by saying this. The expression of opinion must never be treaded upon. The reason Fox got in trouble was not because they were expressing an opinion. It was because they were perpetuating something as fact that they knew was not true. So they knowingly went on there and said things they knew were factually untrue. That's what got them in trouble. The expression of an
I
opinion.
do give him credit because he's got a big audience, and a lot of them, especially when Robert Meyer Burnett was there. I know people say he's a liberal and progressive, but he has some opinions that certain, you know, that a certain part of the audience likes. So his audience, his chat was probably going crazy on this. Like Bruce, you saw it.
Yeah, they were saying that he's crying, that he's a man baby. Yeah, they were going.
Just because you're stating that Fox lied. I mean, that's what's so crazy about this. These are facts. Like, I don't understand, but I'm sure we have 31 people watching here. I don't have delusions of what this is. I'm happy with what the audience we have, but for him to do this, I give him a lot of credit for bringing this up in his chat. Yes, I know, Rational. Okay. All right, but I give him a lot of credit for this. I'm sure his chat was crazy.
Should never be called into question. The expression of opinion, no matter how popular opinion or unpopular your opinion is, should ever be treaded upon, with some minor restrictions, of course. In everything in life, there's exceptions. But let's look, for example, in the world of movies and movie news, because the First Amendment your First Amendment rights do not protect you or allow you to just defame somebody and go into and do defamation, right? That's explicitly laid out in it in of itself. It's written right in. You don't, just because you have the right to express your thoughts and opinions, that doesn't give you the right to lie about somebody in a way that will harm that person. Okay? There's a difference between your opinion, what your perception of, you're even allowed to be wrong. Like, for instance, if all the exchanges between Fox had showed that all the broadcasters and all the hosts and all the executives, if their correspondence showed that they actually believed what it was they were broadcasting, I bet you they wouldn't have gotten into any trouble. I'm almost willing to bet they would. I mean, maybe they still would have gotten fined something, but I bet you would have gotten trouble. The problem was they knew something wasn't true and they perpetuated it anyway. In the world of movies, we've had stuff like this happen, and it's always been with complete impunity, right? Let's go back a couple. Like, you guys can all think of probably 24 examples of this, but let's just look at a couple of them. Let's go back a number of years, back when the Marvel film Captain Marvel was coming out. And of course, there were a lot of people who said this movie's going to bomb, this movie's going to tank, and blah, blah, blah. And the movie made $1.1 billion. So, to cover themselves, this big excuse started going around. Two excuses. One, they're lying about the box office numbers.
Right.
Well, of course, that's not possible because Disney doesn't do the box office numbers. A third party
And then I woke up.
deals
I
with
was
the
like, what am
box
I
office
doing?
numbers. And we talked about that. We did a little editorial on that recently. So they're not the ones who does the numbers. And they said, well, Disney bought all their own tickets.
That's the one I did.
How
That's the one I
how
did.
does that help? Not
Not
to mention
all of
the
them. I said it's
attendance numbers at
possible. I
theaters
said
are
it's
also
possible.
reported to a third independent party, so that can't happen. But the big thing was, and this is what a lot of the websites ran with. Somebody took a picture. Do you guys remember this?
Yeah.
Somebody took a picture of an empty movie theater.
They still do that.
Oh
for
my-
people.
And said,
Yeah.
"Huh, I just came in to watch Captain Marvel on opening weekend, and my theater is completely empty."
Was it a Shazam theater?
Well, Dan Merle did a great piece on this one particular incident where he actually, this is who that picture came from. This person had been bad mouthing Captain Marvel, blah, blah, blah. Do you really expect us to believe that person was there opening weekend to watch Captain Marvel and their movie theater? So it was completely false. It got completely debunked, right? But some
about
websites
the
and
picture,
people kept.
What's that, Senior Nerd?
that picture I remember. He took that picture in IMAX theater the Monday after the movie came out, in the middle of the afternoon. So people
Yeah,
were at
I mean,
work.
You
So
could
people at work-
easily doctor that or get the narrative
Yeah.
you want. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like he was in IMAX theater during the work day where people was at work, and in the IMAX theater, which is more expensive than regular ticket price. So and he probably have a friend. who works
There's lots of ways you could cherry pick a picture.
Oh yeah, that
You
he
could be the
have a
first
fri-
one in there and take a picture before the audience comes in. There's all kinds of things you can do.
Or that he have a friend who worked at the theater and brought him in like an hour before people come in and like, look, I was here to Captain Marvel and I'm the only one here. So why is the #1 movie in America? Why he's making this money?
People still do that all the time. Yes.
Yeah, they did it with Black Panther too.
Black Panther and Shang-Chi, is embarrassing.
Yeah. All right.
Pushing that lie. They kept pushing that myth as, all the movie theaters where Captain Marvel were playing were empty. This $1.1 billion is a lie. All that kind of stuff, right? Or other reports that would come out. There's been a particularly ridiculous one going around that there was a test screening of a particular movie and the test screening audience got up and walked out of it.
Yeah, it was a total.
Oh, is that
Aquaman.
for Aquaman? Is he talking about?
Yeah, the guy before Aquaman too.
Yeah, I've heard that. I also think that unlikely, but people would actually walk out.
Look, if
Test
it's
screening audience is going to walk out. Get out of here.
Nah.
Well, how's it possible? Like, and people like I see on Twitter say like it's like Aquaman 2 is the worst, already the worst comic book movie ever made. I was like, really? And yet Warner Bros. Didn't want to release Batgirl.
Okay.
Just I'm not believing that.
All right. Well, let's see what.
Flop. Which was completely false and completely fake. Not that that movie in question will be any good. We don't know if it will or not. But that simply did not happen. And so I wonder how we in the online movie space will be affected moving forward, and how much we should be affected moving forward with this settlement that Fox just had to make with Dominion. Now, again, let me reiterate, because it's so damn important. We're not talking about the expression of opinion. Expression of opinion
Knowingly
should never
lying.
be touched.
Yeah.
Expression of your perspective should never be touched. We're talking about the simple fact, and we have seen it happen in the world of movies and movie news, where an absolute, completely known to be falsehood is perpetuated for somebody's own agenda. And how much of that accountability should be brought or should not be brought into the online movie space, whether we're talking about large real outlets like Variety, The Hollywood Reporter, The Wrap, Entertainment Weekly, whatever, to more mid-sized ones like Screen Rant, Joe Blow, Coming Soon, to little, buttfuck nobodies like the John Campea Show and other who are on my nobody level. Like, where and when should that accountability come into place? And where is that line drawn? And I'm just asking a lot of questions here. Where is the line drawn between expressing your perspective, expressing your opinion, cross with perpetuating something as an absolute fact that was not true, that you knew was not true, and yet we're perpetuating it anyway? And I just don't know. To me, it's a really interesting thing.
Well,
Listen,
I think he's overthinking. I don't think nothing's gonna change it. Even with like the woke talk, they're lying about everything being woke, but they'll say, "Oh, I was wrong," whatever. You know,
They lie about. I mean, yeah, they lie about.
there's no accountability for this stuff. You know,
What does Tupac say at the beginning of everything he says? This is all rumor. I cannot account for it, so take it with a grain of salt.
And,
You can't get him for that.
And listen to what Capian say about a bunch of the buttfuck nobodies. That's what the fan mans are. They're nobodies.
not until the only thing that's we don't need to listen to the rest. The only thing that is actually going to change it is when the audience changes. Because as much as I also like to criticize other movie pundits, until the trending thing is to seek for truth, nothing's going to change. Until you get rewarded for truth. And you know what? People don't reward truth. They're there for the accusation. They're not there for the resolution of the truth at the end. And it's not rewarded. It's not rewarded. The best case scenario is your dominion and you get accountability through the court system and funds for being defamed. But most cases, people don't care about the truth, unfortunately, on the internet. They don't. I don't think so. I've noticed this over the years on the internet. Everyone's there for the start, the accusation. You know, not a lot even covered. The Ezra still has issues, but they weren't there for the stuff being dropped, and that's my opinion. Anyone else have a take on that? That's my opinion. Nothing's going to change until the audience rewards the truth and rewards good content, and it's just nothing's going to change until that happens. Until the internet starts rewarding that.
Well,
I don't know what you mean by audience rewarding the truth.
Audience reward right now what they want to hear, and just like even though the Fox correspondents are known liars, their audience isn't. Their audience is still going to watch their shows. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit about what they were caught doing, knowingly lying, just to tell their audience what they want to hear.
Yeah, the ratings for Fox News went down after the election, the 2020 election, especially where Fox was the first news network.
Their ratings went up.
Really? What about the protests? There were like people.
CNN and all that went down after that election.
I'm saying until YouTube or internet audiences reward nuanced conversations, deep thought on these things instead of just the accusations, then everything's just gonna continue. The cycle will continue. That's what I'm saying. The audience has to mature to reward truth instead of hyperbolic accusations.
The problem with
and rewarding with the audience,
the problem with cable news, they're not regulated by the FCC.
Okay.
If they had rules and regulations they had to follow, it'll be a total different story on all these cable news stations.
And this isn't really a new kind of issue. It's not anything specific to the internet. It's kind of like that old saying, a lie makes it around the world before the truth can put its shoes on.
Yes.
Like it's always been that way because people are drawn to salaciousness. So if something sizzles, then that's what they're gonna go with. If it bleeds, it leads, basically. And it's just human nature, I suppose. I don't know if there's any grand mechanism with which we can incentivize people to reward truthfulness or good behavior or whatever. I mean, eventually all of that bullshit eventually comes out in the wash anyways. Like it sucks when it's being whipped up to a fever pitch in its immediacy, but as time goes on, a lot of that just kind of like boils away. And again, it's a function of like people coming to terms with the truth, but that's not a sexy thing. It's a gradual thing. It's a long, hard process. And when it happens, no one's paying attention to it, largely because it's not sexy, and also largely because they're on to the next salacious thing. It's kind of like when everybody was whipped up into a frenzy about critical race theory being taught in schools. And then that died down when people started to realize that, that's really more of a college level thing that's taught, and no one's really teaching that in elementary schools. But no one was paying attention to it because Dr. Seuss was being woke, so people were being mad about Dr. Seuss being woke. And then once people start to realize, okay, wait a second, like the government's not making Dr. Seuss remove racist or whatever kind of things from their book, like the actual publisher is doing it for very capitalistic purposes because they want to appeal to a broader audience. That starts to go out, that frenzy dies down, but then no one's paying attention to that because the damn green M&M, she isn't sexy anymore. So now we gotta be mad about the green M&M not being sexy. So that gets whipped up to a frenzy. And then people are mad about trans people. That's being whipped up into a frenzy. And it's always gonna be something. It's always gonna be something. The truth will eventually, distill all of the bullshit down to nothing. And you may not appreciate it when it happens because we'll all be busy arguing over the next shitty thing, But it gets there. It gets there is what I'm saying. It does happen. It's not.
I'm just saying that
process.
Yeah, that I'm just saying that's the only time I would see an actual change. I don't think this lawsuit's going to do anything. I think it's a unique situation where
it's not anymore. It had an opportunity to do something if they had actually gone through the court process, but now that they settled out of court, like it's a non-issue.
I think even if it would have gone through the whole court process, it would have been very bad for Fox, but I don't think it would have changed the industry as a whole. This is a unique situation where they actually had the receipts that they were proven lying.
Well, I think that's a part of because the receipts that they had was just their day-to-day communications and how they operated as a business. And that's not like unique receipts to Fox. Like all of these other organizations communicate their agenda to one another as they're planning their nightly news cycles, as they're getting their talking points in order, as they're reacting to the news of the day and figuring out how they're going to present some news story in one way or another. So the receipts that Fox had, or the receipts that Dominion had for Fox, were, I guess, unique to Fox in the manner that it's about their on-air personalities. But you're going to see them come up with similar receipts when they go after OAN and Newsmax too, because that's just how that business operates. And it's not to say that it's unique to right-wing stations and all that. CNN, MSNBC, any kind of big media operation, they all operate in that capacity. They send out, they have group texts where they're talking about, oh, can you believe what are we going to do about this? They're talking about that, blah, blah, blah. There's mandates and edicts from on high. All of that stuff is just how these news organizations operate. And in my view, if they had been able to go through the court process, we would have been able to see a lot more of this get played out on a big main stage. We would have seen a lot more about, oh, this, Tucker Carlson actually hates Donald Trump and talks shit about him and wants to just move on with his own agenda. We would have seen a lot more of that sort of stuff. We would have seen a lot more of, okay, so then why did he continue to perpetuate, what he knew was a lie, despite all of the evidence of this? And you'd see that play out. You'd see all sorts of other things play out that would eventually get to a point where maybe Dominion wins that case and gets the exact same amount of money. Maybe they get a little bit more. Hell, maybe they get a little bit less. But not only do we have a long, drawn-out, very public battle in which all of the bullshit can be put on Main Street for everybody to see, and then have the public discourse around that, which is desperately needed, then we'd also have legal precedents so that the next company that does this stuff again, there is something there to disincentivize them, at the very least.
All right. Well, thank you. Great discussion. Maybe we'll move on to something lighter too after that. All right. I don't know
I don't know how that relates to Captain Marvel though.
What?
Like I don't know why Captain Marvel was roped into it. That was kind of weird to me.
Yeah.
About the lies about the box office wasn't honest. Because they're like, how could this movie was bad?
You'd have to prove though that the person saying it knew for a fact. I guess he was saying that they they cherry picked
The thing
the
was,
person saying that was a big hater of the movie. Why would he be?
And you'd have to prove that also damaged Marvel in some way
well,
financially.
no, it did it because I saw Captain Marvel on the Saturday, the first Saturday on opening week.
If anything, that kind of stuff helped Captain Marvel's box office. 'Cause, like, there's a bunch of idiots online. They want to hate it just because it's a woman. So that actually helped the box office.
Oh yeah, I remember the was the Alita challenge where people was like, don't watch Captain Marvel, watch Alita Battle Angel, and people was like, don't tell me what to do, fuck you. And so they went, so like, you know what? I'm not gonna watch Alita Battle Angel just as a big middle finger to you. I'm gonna watch Captain Marvel on opening day, and it broke all the box office.
The movie made $1 billion. They're not going to be able to prove damages. You know?
Right. All right.
And there's a reason why they lean so heavily on that angle when they were marketing She-Hulk. And they were purposely sticking a needle in all of the eyes of the online incel contingent in marketing She-Hulk, because
honestly,
that stuff doesn't damage them.
I don't think many of these people would have watched She-Hulk if there wasn't people complaining about it. Like, she's not a very popular character, I don't think.
Hulk is. She's very popular.
Okay.
I mean, I think you can say she's like what's her place in Marvel? It's certainly in the female character.
Not to normies though. Would you say normies is popular amongst them?
I don't know.
You know, I had my friend's neighbor complain to me about they were just making a female Hulk. And I'm like, she's been around since 1980.
Exactly.
Yeah, no idea.
She was claimed by Stan Lee. Stan Lee created She-Hulk. Like,
my little niece loves Marvel stuff, and I told her, there's a girl Hulk. She's like, what? A girl Hulk? And she had no idea. It's just I'm just saying normies don't know as much.
Okay. Yeah. This next story I had, this surprises me. The only reason this surprises me is I didn't know it was still happening now. I didn't know they still had DVD by mail. I didn't know they were still doing that.
Oh, Netflix, yeah. Well, that's how it started. They started as like you.
I know. I subscribed right away. Only recently did I stop my having Netflix, and it was only because my credit card expired and I didn't renew it. I'm like, I don't want to renew it yet. But I had it since the start. Anyone DVD in the mail or no longer? Is anyone sad?
No.
Devin, is this crush you? Is this crush you? You're not going to get your DVDs in the mail from Netflix anymore?
Actually, my friend and longtime roommate, Kelly, who I think was on this stream some time ago, y'all called him Reverse Matt Jarbo. He loves the shit out of DVD delivery from Netflix. Like, he would always get like 2 in the mail like every few days or so. And he's bummed out about this. Like, he's like, well, I guess I better get as much money's worth as I can out of it while I still can. It was a cool service. I wonder what they're going to do with all their DVDs.
Landfill, destroyed, Goodwill. Yeah. I think they donate them probably.
They should give them to libraries and schools.
Yeah. You could still get through. Yeah, you could still rent DVDs, games, and everything from the library.
Yeah. So it's so weird. Like, okay, I think I've been to the library, a public library, twice, but that's because my mom was in the community college and she was there for researching. She was there for a research of one of her assignments. You can buy DVDs, rent DVDs in libraries.
Mm-hmm.
You can get comic books from libraries too.
Mm-hmm.
You get all sorts of things from libraries.
Books, everything. Yeah.
I never had a library card. If I know that, I should have got. No, I was never.
Actually, you can rent movies from the library through streaming. You could stream rent a movie from your local library.
Oh, that ain't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really? I'll look up the name of the. I have it on my Roku. I'll look it up and get it to you real quick.
That's great. Yeah, that would help a lot of people if we figure that out. Yeah. I used to really like seeing this in the mail, but then I used to get mad when I forgot something was stupid and I got sent in the mail. Like, damn, when did I put this in my queue? I don't want to see this.
I used to forget to send them back and get hit with late fees.
For Netflix?
Was it? You had a certain amount of days to send them back.
No, you could keep a Netflix movie for a year. You just didn't get a replacement.
That was a big the selling point. You keep it.
I put it in the chat. It's called Hoopla.
Hoopla.
Yes.
Okay.
Cool. I'm gonna check that out. Awesome.
Yeah.
And let me put this in the chat too to check it out.
Yeah, I've watched several indie films via Hoopla.
Okay. Check it out, everyone. I don't know all the details, but Hoopla is great and free. Yeah. Okay. All right, so next topic. This is this is exciting for me because I'm a fan of the franchise. Godzilla v Kong. Again, we're getting a second movie. It's called Godzilla X Kong. I don't think the title's great, though. I don't think the title is great. Let me bring this up here.
What is he, a mutant?
Real?
I don't think so. No way. What?
There ain't no way.
Isn't that like how they do Japanese? What is it, yaoi or whatever?
I don't know.
Sorry, what's yaoi?
Yes. It's
Google it later.
Okay. All right, I get it.
Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. I think it's a clunky title.
God damn you, Devin.
Why can't we just Godzilla Kong?
Well, they already had that. Listen, I'm a
What are you
sucker for these
saying?
giant monster movies, so I will watch this for sure. Like,
Wait,
I
is the
love
missus not liking the title?
It's a fantastic movie, in my opinion.
It's a team up movie.
I mean, that thumbnail looks pretty cool.
My
so
wife
far.
is laughing. She says that's what they do, like for fan fiction. This title, like,
Yes.
Godzilla X Kong, and they're
I mean,
like,
it's almost like
sounds like a ship or something. She said,
no, it's literally close to. It literally sounds close to like Batman v Superman.
yeah. So I think the title is going against it. This is a really clunky title.
Wait, so the X means they're like dating? Like it's a romantic thing?
Well, no, that's what can happen in ships, but that's not. I don't think that was their intention. No.
Okay.
That can't happen in fan fiction, is what my wife is saying.
Let me see.
But it's sort of like I think its intention is to be like like Batman v Superman, that type of thing. But
Well, they look like they were embracing in that picture at the bottom.
they're embracing.
No,
God.
It's a team up movie.
Well, that would be an interesting follow up if that happens. What if that's what you get? The ship of Godzilla and Kong.
There you go.
And then the offspring for the next movie.
There you go, LGBTQ.
Actually,
you got your representation in the monster movies.
Well,
Godzilla.
I'm not gonna lie. I would see the sequel though. If the offspring of Kong and Godzilla, I would check that out.
Hell yeah!
A
Yeah, that
freaking
would be interesting.
Godzilla.
Kongzilla.
Godzilla. What do you think the monster is they gonna fight in the sequel?
Let's see what Larry says. Larry Kortwitz, $5. Thank you, Larry. Is it true that they don't have the rights to King Kong and that's why it's always just Kong now? I remember hearing that once. I'm not sure.
That would make some sense.
Yeah. Instead of saying King Kong. Yeah, I'm not. Maybe.
Wait, who did the original 19 whatever, the black and white King Kong? What studio was that?
Like Universal or something. I don't know.
So
yeah, these are
maybe,
Universal monsters, aren't they?
I don't know.
Does Warner own them?
Yeah, I think that the same studio that did the original black and white King Kong also did the Peter Jackson. So.
But I'm very excited to see this. I'm also excited to see the MonsterVerse series. It's just the title is not good to me. The title sounds like ugh. That's all I had to say about that one. Okay, Netflix. We already did that. We're winding down. We're getting through the articles now. Oh, here we go. I know everyone's waiting for this reboot. Now you got the Harry Potter. You know, they're making a new Harry Potter series. What other young adult series should they reboot? What do you think?
Young adult.
Oh wait, are they
Vampire
rebooting?
Diaries,
Are they rebooting another young adult thing?
Oh, Twilight.
Don't fucking tell me.
Twilight TV.
What's your mouth, senior nerd?
I hope it's Twilight.
Yes, it is.
Awesome.
Twilight. Oh, you're
Twilight
happy
is
about
not-
this? Okay.
Is the original King Kong from 1933 was distributed by RKO, not Randy Orton, RKO Radio Pictures.
Kelly, shush. Hold on. So, Devin, you're excited about Twilight reboot?
Have you ever seen the Twilight movies?
Yes.
I see
They're awesome. They are
listen,
they are
some of the
hilarious
best-
movies.
Look, some of the best vampire
okay.
werewolf fighting out there. I like those movies. I'm not
I gotta
ashamed to
say-
admit it.
The first Twilight I actually really liked because it felt like
Here.
an indie movie, and I felt like I
Get
really
over
got
it.
to the characters, but it was silly. It was like watching CW. It was watching like a CW series. And
The only
I
thing
Very
I-
CW.
The only thing I hated about
What
the,
is he doing?
the overarching story was Bella's obsession with him as a young
Max
girl.
is being killed by his dog, I think.
yeah, but yeah, and I think that's like
Sorry, wait.
when
Her
people talk-
obsession with what?
her obsession with the vampire guy.
Yeah,
and the
with the
werewolf
vampire.
guy.
Well, not the werewolf. You know, she
Well,
she
she
threw
did
herself
not know
she threw
vampire
herself
movies.
off a cliff because she couldn't be with him.
By the way,
That's
by
love,
the
They
way,
both treated her like shit though.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
were
and by the
both
way,
really
Bella-
shitty towards her.
by Bella Swan, that was her name, played by Kristen Stewart. Terrible. That's a Mary Sue. Because they make her
What?
like she's a Mary Sue. No,
The hell?
because
I've never heard that before, Senor Nerd. Bella is a Mary
no,
Sue.
not like a Mary Sue like Ray. I'm talking about like they made the whole movie's like she's the one and she's important and Edward killed for her. And this woman was like as bland as like
That's
wonderful.
very true.
Right. They make her like this. She's like this like this golden child, and Edward was willing to like. You remember like I think it was the second movie or the third movie where he was about to expose himself to the public. Like they showed him that he could glitter.
Yeah.
So because he thought that Bella died, and I was like, why you risking your life for this pretty much horrible woman?
What?
Well, she did kind of become like an actual Mary Sue once she did become a vampire, because then all of a sudden she was like the most powerful vampire. Like she was whooping everyone's ass. But you know,
That's
I
not
get-
Hayden. Are you making a joke? That's not Hayden Christensen.
Oh jeez.
Well, the thing about
Oh,
Mary
that does
Sue
look like him
is
on the
like
left, though.
Yeah.
I'm okay with overpowered women. The problem is like
You're
they
okay
make
with
the
overpowered
character.
women?
They say that the character. No, they say that the character is great.
Read the books.
And we look. I read like the first chapter when it was during when board
Well, there you're an
when
expert.
it was on board when remember Borders when Borders was still around. I read the first. I was like, this
Oh,
is a
Borders.
horrible-
So you read the first chapter while hanging out in the bookstore, but not actually buying the book or anything like that.
God no.
That's the way to go, man. I read a lot of books hanging out at Borders and Barnes and
Oh
Nobles.
yeah, I read a lot. That's why I read a lot of graphic novels and comic books in Borders.
used to read Heavy Metal
I read the
magazine in
entire Ultimate 2 in Borders, and half
Nice.
of the Dark Knight Returns before I actually bought it, and Watchmen. So,
Harry
But yeah,
Potter
it-
wasn't Mary Sue.
but no, I talk about very soon in terms of like the movie.
Harry Sue. Oh wait, that sounds.
It's like they're telling the audience she's special, she's great, and we're like, no, she's not. And we see from her, she's like, no, she's not great.
Well, okay, so in fairness, though, that's kind of like a young adult convention. The idea that they want their target demographic for Twilight, which is like teenage girls, that this
14-year-olds,
is someone that you can relate to because you have the same level of depression or uselessness or the helplessness that you feel
her?
in this character. and you know that you're special deep down inside, and that specialness manifests basically by having someone like Edward, a vampire,
Super handsome
be attracted
vampire,
to you,
yeah.
be attracted to you. Like your worth is determined by how much that guy over there wants you. Like it's not a great message,
Yeah.
but that's basically the young adult appeal of it.
No, not a great match.
I was not expecting a deep dive on the Twilight franchise. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Devin.
I like them better than Harry Potter.
Oh, come on.
But like, okay, so they're
Twilight is hilarious.
I like the movies. I don't mind the movies for what they are, but it's not better than Harry Potter. Come on.
No, I say
the other way
was,
around, Degrassi.
I say he was better in Harry Potter.
Oh, I see.
Remember, like
And
the
the Goblet
Harry
of
Potter.
Fire.
Remember, there was
He
like
was
kind of
Diggory.
like a tribalism turf war between the Harry Potter fans and the Twilight fans, and we were like, and we were like, that was like something like
Could you imagine the
It's
streets
because
with
of Daniel Radcliffe and Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
Perfect. Anyway, the Vampire Diaries was better than Twilight. Damn it.
Oh, I mean, vampires were there was also like True Blood and shit. Like vampires were popping when Twilight came out.
I read 14 books in that series.
Oh,
Jeez.
damn.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I was hooked on that series.
All right.
The show didn't do the books justice.
I think there's an audience for Twilight.
I mean,
Wait, what network is doing it? The remake? Or
Oh, they
whatever?
don't have a network
I
yet.
already trashed.
They don't
the
have a
article.
network?
I was like,
Okay.
this is too much Twilight talk. No offense. I was like,
Oh,
wow.
wait, so it's gonna be a show, not a movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lionsgate. Okay, yeah.
It's gonna be a show.
Oh, I think that's better. It's gotta be, you don't put in CW. It's really the first movie felt like a CW show.
If there's a way for 14-year-old girls to watch and now middle-aged women who love Twilight to watch it, people will watch it. They'll get ratings.
Oh my god, I was like what? 18, 19 when the first Twilight movie came out?
Young girls
I'm
will
like-
still like it.
Yeah, wow, I'm not old.
Devin had a perfect analysis for what the messaging of it is. It's exactly right.
Well, whoever thought that two of the actors went on to be one of the greatest actors? Everybody was saying that Robert Pattinson could not act in those Twilight movies, and now he's Batman. And he's probably the best Batman.
So it's funny you mentioned that because once I didn't think Robert Pattinson was anything until I saw the movie Good Time. I go, oh wow, he's an actual actor. He's not just like a pretty boy vampire type.
Oh, dude, watch The Lighthouse.
Yeah, I hate black and white, but yes, I love the director, and I've been meaning to get around to it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, moving on for Twilight. Deadpool 3. Ryan Reynolds on how I'm just joking around. I would probably watch Twilight series with my wife because I watched the movies with her back in the day.
It just as I hope it's as funny, like unintentionally funny, like the movie was.
All right, good night, Jeffrey. Gotta go. All right, so Deadpool 3 on how he convinced Hugh Jackman to play Wolverine again. Because I remember I was saying, I think Hugh Jackman's coming back. I think it's possible. And some of my friends were like, he's never coming back. Logan was perfect. And they got mad at me for even suggesting it. Reynolds revealed how the heroes from the Great White North joined forces. It's been fun, Reynolds told it. He and I are both really excited. We've wanted to do this for a decade. So to have this opportunity now is, I think, actually weirdly the perfect time. Regarding on what it took for Jackman to pop in his claws again for what I hope is a buddy action film of epic proportion, Reynolds said, I mean, I never stopped. I was just pestering him like a gnat over the last many years. I actually just think I believe in timing, and I think he was ready. Reynolds continued, I think he was excited, and what we pitched him was enough of a divergence from the character that he knows and the character that he's left behind that it gives him something completely new to play and something that he's really excited to do. Oh, is there a clip here? Let me see.
No, this is
I cannot wait for Deadpool 3. You and Hugh Jackman back together.
Wait, hold on. Let's watch this real quick. All right. I didn't know there was going to be a clip.
We cannot wait for Deadpool 3. You and Hugh Jackman back together again. You posted recently a picture of you in the gym with the caption "Keeping up with the Jackmans." How's it going?
I like Ryan. Is anyone Ryan Reynolds fans here? I like Ryan Reynolds.
Yes.
Oh, I love him.
He's excellent as Deadpool. He's perfect.
Yeah, I rewatched Deadpool 2. It is so good. Like
I love both
I
those
remember
ones.
not liking it that much at the beginning, but rewatching it's very good. My favorite is Domino in that. I think
I need
she's
to see
great.
the.
Love
I need to see
Domino.
what was the movie he did Netflix with Sam Levy, who's now doing Deadpool 3, the Anna Project.
Yeah.
I saw the
didn't-
Adam Project.
I
I
think
didn't really like that one.
my
It
favorite
was
movie with
okay.
him is
I thought it was
Waiting.
all right.
Which
Have
one?
you guys seen Waiting? Waiting with the
Oh, the restaurant movie.
Yes. Oh, I love that movie.
I'll have
Oh,
to
you know
check
what?
that
I
out.
think I still have it. I still have the what was that college movie he did? Van Wilder.
Dan Wilder.
And Wilder. Oh,
That's a
oh.
you cannot make that movie today.
The opening scene was Suck Me. What was that name?
Oh,
Suck Me.
okay. Yeah, that wouldn't be flying nowadays. All right, let's see what he says to ET Canada.
Yeah, I'm trying. That Hugh Jackman is a beast. You know, yeah, he's clearly obsessed with his own body. So keeping up with someone who's that diligent is going to be challenging. But
Did he walk in? I hope he's there.
But yeah, it's been fun. I mean, he and I are both really excited. We've wanted to do this for a decade. So to have this opportunity now is I think actually weirdly the perfect time.
Did you tell him specifically something to get him back on board?
I mean, I never stopped. I was just pestering him like a gnat.
Yeah, this is just the video of the but that's great. We have Ryan Reynolds to thank for Hugh Jackman coming back. He
All
never
right.
stopped asking for him.
Hear me out on this.
What?
What if in the movie
Hmm.
Deadpool and Wolverine actually hook up?
Okay, Bruce. I'm not asking about your
Okay.
fantasies here.
No, because
no.
in the comic books, Deadpool is always after Wolverine.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So yeah, he's also after Spider-Man.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to it. I don't.
And
care.
there was a version of X-Men where Wolverine was dating Hercules.
Well, yeah, that was like a what if, though, wasn't it? Basically, or
No,
another
it was
universe.
another universe.
Yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't Wolverine the Prime Minister of Canada or something like that.
I hope that happens, Brucifer. I don't know what. If it happens, it happens.
That would be quite the Disney movie.
Yeah.
Over the last many years, I actually just think I believe in timing.
Yeah.
You know, as much as hard work and luck and all those intersections that are supposed to meet, timing is a big one as well. And I think Hugh was ready. I think he was excited, and what we pitched him was enough of a.
I like too that he's saying the reason, besides pestering him endlessly, which I probably would have done too for Hugh Jackman to come back. He says it's a departure from his other portrayal of Wolverine. I like hearing that.
Now, what does that mean?
There's probably
Hopefully, it
some
means it's
angle.
going to be a comic accurate Wolverine from his earlier days, in
Mhm.
which Wolverine was a pissant, an obnoxious, angry
Harsher, rough
talker.
on the edges, right? Mhm.
Yes, I want to
He's
see
gonna
that
wear- he's gonna
Wolverine.
wear- He's gonna wear the yellow blue and the mask.
Well, I think there's
I
lots
prefer
of
the
things you could
brown
do
yellow.
to do a different take on him. Yeah, you can make him a real jerk. You too.
So he's going to be smoking and drinking beers. Yeah, I mean, I'm familiar with that version of Wolverine. It's interesting. It's just I worry for this movie because the first two were so good, and this is going to be hugely hyped, and I just I worry about my own personal expectations, type of thing.
Oh, this is my most anticipated of Marvel right now.
Yeah, easily for what they've announced. Sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what else.
The divergence from the character that he knows and the character.
Divergence of the character that he knows. Yeah, I like that he's saying that. I hope that's actually falls through, though. I hope it's a different take on him.
Character that he's left behind.
Yeah.
That it gives him something completely new to play and something that he's really excited to do. So yeah.
Okay, so I hope that falls through. What were you gonna say?
I was going to say it's going to be Wolverine's going to be a while before. This will be the last Wolverine we see for a while because I think it's going to be a while before they dare recast him. You know what I mean? And we never got to see Hulk v Wolverine. And if you read any comic books, that's the biggest thing out there. And I would love to have seen that on the screen, personally.
They'll never do that.
Why not?
You never know. It might be a part of this movie.
If you read the part of I know Bruce, I know you've read it, where with the World War Hulk, where he fights Wolverine. It's even a short fight, and it's awesome. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
And then there's this article about Deadpool. Did he spoil the Deadpool team? X-Force will live forever. That was great.
I loved it.
X will live forever. I retweeted this, I think. X-Force. Is the X-Force... Yeah, Zazie Beetz is supposed to be back. I don't know about the rest. The rest didn't make it.
I
think Wolverine they're gonna use for the X-Men movies will be X-23 Laura.
Okay.
Because currently they're about to make her the main Wolverine again.
The only downside is from Deadpool 2 is I just did not like Josh Brolin as Cable.
Disappointing, to be honest. I agree with you.
I so pictured the guy from Avatar. What's the actor's name? And Don't Breathe.
Stephen Lang.
Stephen Lang would have been perfect as Cable. Like when they were talking about casting. Yeah.
I think there was like a concept art where like they draw Brad Pitt as like Cable. Like, they kind of wanted him.
He's too skinny.
I mean, he could get buffed up. He could get buffed for. But I thought it was fine. You know, but because his backstory is so complicated, they didn't really get into.
Agreed.
Yeah, but what pissed me off. Remember the scene where Deadpool was trying to do the say anything to Colossus in the X-Men Academy while Cable and Domino were in the taxi. Remember that? Like Deadpool was apologized to how he treated Colossus. They want to help him to go and get the kid, and Domino and Cable were in the taxi. Remember that?
At the end of the movie?
Yeah. Well, okay. So they were at the X-Men Academy, and they have the perfect opportunity for Cable to go to tell Domino, "Hey, my parents went to that school."
Okay.
Talk about Jean Grey and Colossus, and then as soon as they drive off, we see the Tyler Sheridan, who plays Cyclops. He's like near the gate, and Cable goes and say, "Hi, Dad," and Cyclops like, "What the hell?" And they drove off. They missed a great opportunity for that joke. But they did.
Yeah.
Well, Cable was never going to be that kind of a character, like a jokey character. He was
Oh,
very
that's right.
deliberately played as like a grim straight man.
I don't mean like joke. I mean like he saw his dad, Scott Summer. He's like, "Hey, Dad," and he was like, and Scott was like confused.
This is the other. Thank you, Senior. This is the other Marvel project that I'm super excited about because it has these Hulk characters. This is more interesting to me than like you got the Ragnarok with Hulk and Thor and Hulk and that, because it actually has more Hulk characters. And I hope they do him good, because Hulk's storyline through the MCU has kind of been kind of iffy. It's not the greatest. But I hope this does both Captain America and the Hulk good. It includes 3 Hulk characters, actors, and roles explained. Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, which I'm very excited about. Unfortunately, lost the great actor, but
Harrison Ford.
Yeah, but Harrison Ford in that role is a really good sign for me. Betty Ross. I don't know why everyone dislikes Liv Tyler. I'm sorry.
She's a Nepo baby, that's why.
But her father wasn't an actor.
Yeah,
does that count if they're a musician?
Well, I mean, he's like the lead
musician.
singer of one of the greatest bands in the world. I guess why they thought like.
But I liked her, Betty Ross. I think she did good.
Okay, what's her character in Lord of the Rings? What was her name?
Yeah, she was good in Lord of the Rings.
So I love her. Yeah, and then I like Armageddon. I love Armageddon. So
I mean, I don't think that this movie needed her to be made, but whatever.
And then Samuel Stern's the leader is also.
Now that's who I hope they don't screw up, because I love that character. So that's really a good villain.
I don't know much about the leader character. Bruce Ford, are you excited about these? Are you excited to have these Hulk characters in the Captain America movie?
My thing is why they're there.
Well, we know why. We know
why.
Because the Hulk can't do a standalone movie with the rights the way they are.
Yeah, it's
So the only way you do it is supplemental through other materials. That's why.
yeah. So like it's like so. Let's say they want to do Werewolf Hulk. It's got to be Avengers Werewolf Hulk. You know.
Mhm.
That's why also like when they in Thor Ragnarok they use elements of Planet Hulk in that movie. Because they could do a full length Planet Hulk movie, but they're like they can't because of Universal. So that's why we have like Hulk sprinkle in other. Although like it's really like the TV rights because they did She-Hulk. So I think remember that Guillermo del Toro was going to do like a Hulk TV series for ABC.
I didn't remember that. No, that would have been awesome.
I think I don't know what it's going to mean. I don't know if it's going to be like the same Hulk from the MCU or like kind of like the version of the Bill Bixby, Luke Ferrigno,
Guillermo
Hulk.
del Toro doing Hulk. Wow. That
Yeah,
would be something.
but I was like, how they gonna do that? Like if it's gotta be CGI Hulk, it can't be like Luke, like a bodybuilder cover in green paint like Luke Ferrigno in the 70s.
Well, what do you think of this, Devin? You a Hulk fan? Are you happy that this is gonna be in Captain America, or are you like, why? What does this need to be in here? Like Brucifer.
I mean, honestly, maybe this is a question for like the more hardcore comic book readers to answer. Sam Wilson's Captain America. Who are his primary villains?
Captain America's villains.
You really had to think.
Red
about
Skull.
So Sam Wilson was still fighting Red Skull.
Yeah, they brought him back. Like they keep bringing the Red Skull back. Red Skull's kids. It's.
Oh, jeez.
The Red Skull
I
family.
think Red Skull got a daughter.
Nepo
Red
babies.
Skull got a daughter. Or
Yeah, pretty much.
Red Skull's Nepo babies. Okay, well, I mean, yeah, sure. I'm sure they'll do a good job. I don't really care about Hulk or his villains, but
I just don't want it to interfere with the Captain America 4 story.
But that's the thing. I don't like. I've never read Sam Wilson's Captain America run. I don't know what his villains are. I don't. Maybe this is something that would adhere to it. Maybe not. I don't know. It could be cool.
Don't worry about it. Captain America, either Sam or I can't even think of his name. Right, Steve. It's been boring for years. Nobody reads Captain America, regardless who has the mantle.
You communist.
Fair enough.
It's going to be a pretty jokey movie, right? Because even
I don't know. I don't think
the
so.
portrayal of
No,
Sam Wilson, he's always joking around, and I mean,
I don't know. I
he's
think
Hulk a
it's
joke now.
I think it's gonna be more like
That's
like,
okay, Ray. I found out that it actually costs $30 for it because it's only free to play beginning of next year. The game we were talking about, Disney Speedstorm. Have a good weekend.
Okay, I think this Captain America New World is gonna be
Actually,
like.
look this up. Sam Wilson villains.
I'd love to see him fight Captain Britain and just America versus all these other countries. That would be great.
I think the tone.
Captain Britain is Betty. I mean not Betty. Betsy. Betsy Brock.
Well, not the original Captain Britain, right?
So yeah.
No, he's I forgot what his name is.
It was her brother. I forget what.
Yeah,
his
her brother had the sword.
Voltaire, are you more hyped to hear that the Hulk characters are going to be in here, or you would rather see just Captain America's own story?
I like Hulk. I mean, lately the Hulk's been kind of whatever, but I like the character of the Hulk, and I think he's a good thing for movies. So yeah, no, I'm happy to hear it.
I actually wish he still looked like that. I think that Hulk looked better.
I think I'm the opposite of everybody in this regard. Like, I never cared for the Hulk. I remember watching the cartoon when it was running, and I've watched the
which cartoon?
What about Ed Norton Hulk movie?
I watched the Ed Norton Hulk, and it was okay, but I wasn't really super into it.
I mean, you watched the Bill Bixby show, right?
When I was a kid, I didn't quite get it. Like, it was just, okay, he gets mad and breaks shit, and then he's always on the run. I thought it was kind of lame. I like that ending theme, but I just didn't really get into the whole
highway. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Formulaic. It's literally like there's there's David Banner. He goes to the town. He helps the problem. He turns to the Hulk for 5 minutes, and then
That's a bunch of shows.
Yeah.
So like the type of like the Hulk that Marvel has done with Mark Ruffalo, in my view, it added more depth to the character that made me more interested in it rather than just, a sad guy who's hiding in a hole. And then all of a sudden he's like a brainless maniac just smashing everything. And then he goes back to being a sad guy and he has to run away. Like, I don't really care about that story. Like, I'd much rather the more,
Well, that was
intricate
even
sort
the
of
Ed
things.
Norton Hulk was kind of that character too. So yeah, that's fair actually.
Yeah.
How many movies can you have the Hulk go mad, smash, mad,
Yeah,
run
you
away?
like Planet Hulk, World War Hulk. That was a fantastic storyline.
Yes,
You
that
can
was
do like
great.
you can do it when Hulk was Mr. Fix-It. You can
Oh
do a
God,
little- well, no.
Mr. Fix It.
Well, I have 2 Star Trek articles to end the show and then 2 questions in the mailbag. So we're doing pretty good. We're going to end right after 3 hours. And I appreciate everyone being here. And nice to see you, Devin. I appreciate you stopping by. Brucifer, Voltaire, Senior Nerd. So Strange New... Callie, get over here. Strange New World Season 2 trailer. Captain Kirk beams up for a bold adventure in the unknown. So that's cool. I'm looking forward to this. I am going to try to get into this show after Picard tonight. I'm going to start watching the first season. What's that?
Like go to the picture of Kirk.
That is
That's a Vampire Diary guy.
yes.
Yeah, it is.
How is he?
I don't know.
Oh,
He looks good in the uniform. I don't know. Different Kirk.
And this
If
is
Brian
on
was
Paramount Plus.
It will be, yeah. I'm gonna watch. I've heard the first season got like a lot of 10 out of 10s from reviewers.
Paul Wesley.
Yeah. Anyone who saw
He's a good actor.
Can we?
I watched every season of Vampire Diaries twice. So.
Okay.
Good, great show if you haven't watched it.
Okay. Voltaire, what do you think of this? You're not in the Trek yet, are you?
No, I got to get a Paramount Plus subscription. I'm not against Trek. I just haven't been.
It's not been your
keeping
thing
up
yet.
with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does this interest you at all that they're going to have Kirk, a different version of Kirk, and then they have Spock right there?
So
Yes,
are they,
that's a
are they
great
doing
idea.
are they recasting the entire original?
I don't know.
No,
I
this
haven't
is
watched it yet.
a young Kirk before he becomes captain.
Okay, so we're not getting like a new Uhura, new.
Well, we have Uhura already, and
Oh.
Spock. That's it.
No, but
Corey and all that crap.
Bones. Do we get new Bones?
Presumably they would
cool.
have to if they're doing all
He's
that.
older.
They're gonna-
He's one of those. Yeah.
Scotty and all of them.
I think this is
I
cool.
don't know. You could do Chekhov now because he could be like he's pretty much like a teenager or not a teenager, a kid at this point.
Evan, are you a Trek fan? I can't remember.
I am.
Have you been watching Picard?
Yes, I have. I have been. I like it a lot. Season 3, at least.
Yeah. I'm watching the finale in an hour with Brian. Oh, God.
Nice. Yeah, I've watched a couple of episodes of season 1 of Strange New Worlds. It's pretty good. I forget why I didn't finish it, but it wasn't, because I didn't like it. I just got distracted by something else. So I'm going to go back and finish watching it.
Yeah, the writing is really good on that show.
Yeah, and then there's this. This is what Crazy Joe is talking about. Section 31. I'll be honest. I love Michelle Yeoh. I'm not really interested in this. I'll probably watch it, but I'm like, okay.
Did you watch Discovery?
I watched a few seasons of Discovery, and I kind of fell off.
Okay.
Me and my wife were watching it together, and we kind of lost interest.
Okay, so you're familiar with her character in that, though.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
I'm up for it. I'm just like, I'm not. It doesn't excite me. What would excite me is if they're doing a new Star Trek movie, like with the Chris Pine, or if they do a Star Trek movie based off of Picard, how it ends tonight. That would interest me. This specific.
No, they can't do another Picard movie.
I don't know,
because fans would just keep wanting more and more.
Yeah. Well, that's fine.
Now I'm getting the sense that this next Picard episode is going to be the last run for Patrick Stewart in that role.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably for several people in their roles.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's enough Trek talk for now because Brian's going to talk my head off after the episode. I'm just preparing myself. And then we'll get to the mailbag. We had 2 questions. Woo!
Or from CGA.
No, they're not.
Oh, okay.
Not
It's
from
a
you
good deal.
either.
I already knew
Okay.
it.
Chubby Teddy Monster Productions. Who would you rather see show up in Mandalorian season 3? Boba Fett, Cobb Vanth, or Nine Nub?
Wait, do you
Well,
mean
we
season
didn't get
4?
any.
Season
We didn't
4.
get. Oh, season 4. Okay, I would like Boba Fett to show up.
I
He's
mean,
like the
I
one.
hope
He's
that-
like the one Mandalorian that's missing.
I mean, Cad Bane, did he die? Didn't he die?
No, Cobb Vanth. Cobb Vanth was that Justified actor.
Timothy-
What's
Timothy Olyphant.
Yeah.
They left it in Book of Boba Fett that he's not dead. He's just healing.
Yeah, but who would you rather see in next season?
Who's not noob?
Nine Nub.
The third-
I can't remember who Nine Nub is. Let me actually look that up. It's probably some weird creature. Knowing Chubby Teddy.
Presumably some sort of a German character.
Oh, here he is. This is Nine Nub. Let me bring this up.
9.
That character.
Okay.
Nine Nub.
Yeah, why not? I'm surprised he hasn't shown
Oh,
up.
the
already.
blue guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be great if Boba Fett, like now that Mandalore is, but then
Mhm.
maybe that should be maybe for if they do Book of Boba Fett season 2.
He's
Like,
got
he
his own
and him-
kingdom going. Why would he want to go to Mandalore at this point?
Well, that's why I want to see it. I'm like, what would
Or
make
maybe,
him
he could just he might appears I'm getting old. I need to retire. I need to go back to my people. He gives the town to Mignon, and he goes back to Mandalore to be with the others. So, but I go with Boba Fett.
Okay. All right, and strange Marvel theory. I'm gonna have to end because my dog's driving me nuts. Since Din Djarin has offered his services to the Republic further out of the galaxy, do you think this is the writer's way of writing Din Djarin out of the Mandalorian series, out of sight, out of mind? Potentially, and I also think it's to help to get the New Republic show back on the what's it called? Rangers of the New Republic show. It seems very much like that might be resurrected. That's my thoughts.
That's a very good thought.
Yeah, especially since it has that one actor that's that's from Kim's Convenience. That they like him a lot. He's a good character.
Yeah, and realistically, we wouldn't see another season until 2025, 2026.
Right, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
and that would be another cool series to lead into the Thrawn movie. Maybe, I don't know.
Hey, are they really going to
Did
get
everybody?
a season of? Go ahead.
Did everybody here watch the last episode of Mandalorian?
Yeah.
I did.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about Brucifer because he fell asleep on me. He saw
I
it.
watched the first thing this morning when I woke up.
What did y'all think about it? Just quickly.
Well, I thought.
Okay.
I'll go. Well, I thought it was a too much happy ending. I did call it that they were not gonna kill off Din. Yeah, I thought it was and everything is all right, and they all live happy ever after. I thought that's too sweet for me. I thought they should leave kind of like what's gonna be the threat for the next time. I also thought that why didn't Din took out his helmet when he was selling his home while he was looking at Grogu playing with the frogs. But other than that, I thought was okay. It was a season finale. That was what it was.
It was
And then-
so the fight scenes were cinematic in my opinion. Some of the stuff looked really good, and it was just not a blockbuster finale. It was like a 6.5, 7, maybe a 7, more than a 6.5, and just nothing fantastical happened. And it was kind of, after the Luke Skywalker finale last season, I guess they set themselves up like you expect something a little more, and it was just okay, happy ending. We got the story wrapped up.
Oh boy, I see this now, Brucifer.
What?
Ooh, what a cringe take by RM. I still like him, but man, this is cringe. This.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for earlier. Yeah, that's horrible.
This is why he got that pushback on Twitter. Not that is currently being retold to include more critical alien theory. Oh my god, limitless gender studies.
Yeah, because they said the
collectivist
cast is going to be
utopian
more
theory and Klingon
Is he
opera.
drunk? What the hell?
To be fair, I don't want to comment on his status, but I heard he likes to drink. So he might be, yeah.
No, this was like 12 o'clock in the afternoon.
I know.
Well,
That's when he
he's a
started.
daydream.
Like that will stop him.
And he wonders why people call him certain things.
Well, no, I mean, he's still a good person, but this is a freaking cringe take. Like
Klingon opera.
It's supposed to be a commentary on all the woke stuff. Like
I
he's
get it. Critical
Communism,
alien theory. My God.
Communism,
Limitless gender
transgenders, and critical race theory. I'm trying to figure out the Klingon opera.
Degrassi. Well, is it during the musical scenes?
So, anyone have a comment on this cringe take?
It's cringe.
How about he stop
and-
watching Star Trek if he's so offended?
Well, honestly, there's a lot of in Star Trek. There's a lot of with the different alien races. There is racism and prejudices against certain races
Exactly.
and characters, and stereotypes of certain characters. Like Worf broke the stereotype of Klingons. That was what was so cool about him. So this stuff has always been in there. Gender studies. I'm so sick of that gender stuff. It's like so cringe when
There
people
was
say
an
gender
episode.
studies.
I don't know if everybody remembers the episode of Star Trek.
It's also aliens may be more not so binary with their genders as well. So yes, these are all things that could be explored in the universe of Star Trek. Like it's like
Kirk Bang of Green Lady in the original series.
There was an episode of the original Star Trek where they went to a planet and the different factions were warring.
The
One
black and
side-
white versus white and black.
Yes, just because the
Oh,
color
that-
of their face was on a different
Right,
side.
with what's his name? The Riddler.
Hey Joe.
What's the Riddler from Batman? He was in the episode. Frank, what's his name? I know you're talking about the one with the face paint with one black, one white.
All right, the guy who played the Riddler in the original Batman series. I get it.
Yeah.
I don't know who that
He
was,
was in-
but yeah, they've always done this stuff. And you're right, Captain Kirk was banging green chicks. You know, he didn't care.
Well, this is like tone deaf to me to the whole universe of Star Trek because there's lots of prejudice against different races, and then different alien races may have different, they might have multiple genders. Even there's even aliens with multiple genitalia in the
Have
Star
they had
Trek
any?
movies.
Have they had any alien captains in any of these shows?
Yes, for a while, a season on Discovery
Mm-hmm.
before Michaels took over as captain.
Right. Frank Gorshin was the Riddler. That's okay.
Okay.
Alright.
Well, this is what got him started today. So I would love to talk to him about this.
This is what got him kicked off of Campier's show.
You think?
I think
Yeah,
so.
he's
After-
cracking open.
Yeah, Campier went on a whole thing about geeks and gamers and stuff.
Yeah, but he just stayed silent. But I don't, that's not what they said publicly. Is that I honestly think it has nothing to do with Robert Meyer Burnett. I think it has to do with building
Money.
these movie talk communities is not very profitable. It's diminishing returns. There's only so much of an audience for this, and it's
Also,
oversaturated.
Also cameo. He brought Chris Gore. in the
And
show.
just so people know, Christian Harloff of Schmoes Knows, he put a group together on his own channel, and they also stopped at the same time. And Christian Harloff and Campy are good friends. So like this isn't getting us any more funds on our YouTube channel having these big group of movie pundits. At least not when you're paying for a studio and all that. It's not worth it.
Mm.
That's why, like, what I'm doing here, this is as far as it goes. Like, I love having Devin, Bruce, the First City Nerd, Voltaire, but I would never spend money for a studio for people to collaborate in when you could just have people collaborate on the internet. It's like there's not enough of a market for this. There's you could have fun, you can make a little bit of money, but it's not this huge market for the bigs. Like, even Grace Randolph, she's still stuck under 1 million subs, and she's the biggest, you know.
She's
They're
still
doing
like
the
a-
movie talk. It's just
she's
there's
still-
not. Yeah.
You got to get some kind of niche like Star Wars theory.
It was actually frustrating to see Campy do the same thing over and over again. Every time he started getting sponsors and more money, he would get a studio, hire more people, and it's not sustainable for anyone, you know.
So, Devin, what were your thoughts on the Mandalorian finale?
I didn't like it.
Oh.
I thought it was pretty lousy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the action sequences were pretty cool, but there was no real character development. There were no big character moments, or not even any really good moments of like acting. Grand Moff Gideon kind of seemed very video game final bossy. Like, he was just oddly strong. He was just oddly strong. He shows up out of nowhere, is oddly strong in his badass armor. Like, he crushes the Darksaber, which is a weird choice to make given how much of a impact or how much focus they put on that thing for so long. And then, like, the way that he died was weird. Like, he just suddenly started screaming, and then like flames engulfed him. I'm like, what the hell is this? And then if you ever played like Witcher 3, Blood and Wine, the ending was very much Blood and Wine's ending, where it's like, and everything gets wrapped up, and Geralt gets his vineyard, and
Very much that,
I was like, okay, like, this is weird. All of this is just very weird. I like the Mandalorian based stuff. You know, they reignited the great Forge. That was cool, but everything else just seemed it almost seemed rushed. Like, they forgot they had a final episode to do, and they were like, well, we just need to write something quick.
Ooh.
Also, like, do you agree that they should just like they should take off his helmet in that scene where he was looking at Grogu playing?
It's weird that he didn't take his helmet off this season, did he? Like, he didn't show his face at all this season.
No.
Like, he took his helmet off in the first season, and he took it off in the second season in that great moment with Bill Burr. But he didn't have any moment like that. It's weird.
He wasn't on set. He was not on set at all. That's why.
the entire season felt to me like they were trying to write him off the show, but then like they kind of went back and were like, no, we actually want to keep him on the show. And then at the very last minute, they're like, you know what? We're just gonna write him off the show. He's retired. He's retired in his village now. And it's like, okay, this is.
I hate to bring this up, but this is the news, and this is not great. I didn't know this. This is from Variety.
Breaking news.
I'm not gonna. It would be appropriate, but I don't want to do that when this type of issue.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah. That was really
that's what I was mentioning earlier when more people were.
I missed that, Devin. I'm sorry. I didn't know that more came forward.
Yeah, more ladies are coming forward.
Well, there's always going to be a line of people, but that does not sound good.
Well, apparently people who are like in theater groups with him and stuff say he was known to be kind of not so great a guy.
Yeah. Jonathan Mazur's issues worsen as more alleged victims cooperate with DA's office. As he prepares,
came out with a statement that they have no plans to, get rid of him at the time. But that's because of Loki's in the can.
Yeah.
He's so done. He's so done as king.
Well, depending what happens with the court date, I think that's going to depend on Loki. I really do.
No, I think
Loki's going to have the same fate as a Flash. They're not. They've already shot it. It's done. They're not going to get rid of him. There's nothing.
Yeah, I think after Loki, I will say 8 months. Somewhere like by next year, we'll hear like, Jonathan Major's no longer Kang, and they get a new actor.
Well, sources from North the Matter tell Variety that multiple alleged victims of Majors have come forward following his March arrest and are cooperating with the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. The prospect of more women waiting in the wings would mark a dramatic turn in case and comes on the heels of Majors' publicist, the management firm, cutting ties with the embattled actor earlier this week. So disappointing. Well, it's disappointing that there's a victim too, but I'm just saying I hate this story. They're saying he's an innocent, hasn't abused anyone. We have provided irrefutable evidence to the district attorney. The charges are false. We're confident it will be fully exonerated. Oh boy.
I don't know that text. The text message Lori sent. Remember that text message that made him look worse?
Yeah. They shouldn't have released that text if they had any interest in like defending him.
Exactly.
It was like the girl pretty much said, "Yeah, I'm sorry, you had to beat me when I took your phone away." Wow.
Yeah, it was not a wise choice.
Yeah, well, I think this all depends on the court case. I don't know.
The thing is, Marvel actually has a built-in out with him in the fact that they've already established a universe where variants can look completely different than the person that they're a variant from. So they could easily just have somebody else be Kang and just be like, "Oh, this is just that variant."
The only really problem about the future of the MCU part, besides the volatile nature of this type of accusation, if it's true or not, is that promoting Loki season 2. How do you release that product? But now.
Yeah, because he's like the main. He's the main guy.
Depending on what happens.
The dad in the Marvels is a creep apparently too, and they already shot it and they still released it. What are they going to do?
Yeah, they're just going to mark that. I mean, Marvel's just going to bulldoze ahead. They're not like Warner Brothers. They're not going to have to tiptoe around because they don't have the insane debt or weird interpersonal relationships or back office politics and all of the other weird shit that Warner Brothers been dealing with since an acquisition happened. They don't have to deal with all of that. They've got deep pockets. They're on top of all of this, and they'll just bulldoze their way through. They'll promote it as they normally would. And
is this happening more often than it used to, though? Like this type of thing? Yeah.
What type of thing?
Like the men treating women like crap?
No. Of actors, talent getting in trouble. It seems to be happening more often lately.
I think it's more social media makes it more popular.
Social media, okay.
Cameras, video.
Yeah.
I don't know. I remember like stuff like we remember Robert Downey Jr. almost getting arrested every week.
Yeah, that is a bad sign, Joe. You're right. We got to get Joe on. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. They have filmed Loki season 2. They're screwed. He's in it a lot, probably.
Well, I do have to end the stream because in 20 minutes I'm going to get on with Brian for Picard finale. So, and my dog is going crazy. So thank you, Brucifer, Devin, Senior Nerd, Voltaire. We'll see you next time, everyone.
All right, gents. Everybody have a good evening.
You too.
Later.